Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another live stream. We have game week 31. Does that make it 8 game weeks left now? This is crunch time. Every game week matters anyway, but every game week especially matters at the moment when there are barely any left. But good to see you all this morning. Only a few days since the last stream. Content has been crazy this week with all of the stuff for Wildcard and obviously the quick turnaround to 31. I think my team looks okay. I really need a couple of differentials to come in clutch. Like, I need Foden to start, as we'll see in a second. I could do with Murphy delivering for me. And I do have a little bit of a benching headache as well. But good to see you. As always, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what you're doing right now. Is Isak starting? The million-dollar question. Was he up watching the F1 this morning? I was. To be fair, I woke up during Q2. I'll be real with you. But yes, I caught the end of Q2 and I caught all of Q3. So I need to go back and watch Q1, the highlights at least. Although I don't think anything that crazy happened in Q1. Obviously, Sonoda being out-qualified by Lawson, we expected it. I hoped that Sonoda would do a little better, but at least he made it out of Q1. Anyway, this is not an F1 stream, of course. Good morning, Frosty. Good to see you. Lukey Boy, thanks for making me a moderator, mate. No, my pleasure. I actually have made a few of you. So, Lukey Boy, I just made you a moderator. Discover with Sim. And also, Shazam as well. And also, I should say, BJ, become a Raptor X member. Thank you very much, my friend. Your question was, lads, missed the wildcard. What would be the best chip strategy? Having wildcard, free hit, and Arseman. Currently thinking taking a big hit now and bring in the assistant manager for 31 to 33. Yeah, I think unless your team is a state, I would assistant manager 31 to 33, BJ. And then after that, I would free hit 34, wildcard 35. If your team's a state, though, like a real state, you could still wildcard this week, free hit 34, and then assistant manager at the back end of the season. So I think it comes down... When you say take a big hit, if you can take a -8 hit and it sorts your team out perfectly, I would do assistant manager now. But if a -8 hit doesn't even get you close to a good team, then I would probably rather wildcard. Would be the way that I'd look at it. No worries, my God. Shazam, Discover with Sim, you're here every week. You're legends. You deserve it. You don't have to do anything, by the way. If you don't want it. It also makes it easier for me to see your messages. But if you don't want to do anything, then you don't have to. It's just there, just in case. Do you play F1 Fantasy? Nah, F1's one of those games that... Sorry, F1's one of those sports, I just want to watch it for the love of the sport. I don't want to have to worry about a fantasy game. Like, I will be real with you. FPL has done a lot of good for me in terms of watching Premier League football, but I also can't watch a Premier League match now without thinking about the repercussions of this player scoring or this team keeping a clean sheet. Like, there's not a single Premier League match I can watch fully as a neutral. So F1's nice because I just sort of switch off, watch the race, and I don't really... Like, I have a few favourite drivers, but I don't really support a team massively. Like, if I had to choose, it'd be Ferrari. But it's more, I like 5 or 6 drivers that I cheer on. And also, there's no one I really dislike in F1 in terms of the drivers either. So I can just enjoy the race, basically. Anyway, like I say, this is not an F1 stream. So, just under 2 hours till the deadline. This is the way the team currently lines up. I think the key decisions for me this week are actually around captaincy and benching. Because I don't think I desperately need a transfer. Because let's say Alexander Isak is out, which I don't think he will be, but we don't know. I'll just get Ismail Assar off the bench anyway. In which case the benching decision isn't as important. However, in case Isak does play, and I hope he does, because at the moment he does have the armband, I need to decide, do I want to bench Ismail Assar? There's something about benching Ismail Assar that just doesn't seem right to me. Like, he's got really, really good underlying data. Over the last 6, he's top of all midfielders for XGI. So I'm benching a player that is getting a serious number of chances. But it's like, Murphy's got Leicester. If I'm not playing Murphy for Leicester, why do I have Murphy, right? It's such a good fixture. And with Phil Foden, I know I'm very biased towards him, and he was probably, in fact, he was a bad pick on the wildcard. I'm happy to admit that. But he's just had a full rest, or he was rotated, whatever you want to call it. But he didn't play any minutes in Game Week 30. and then there's only a few days before the Man United game. Surely the players that got loads of minutes aren't going to then start again. And you'd imagine that Phil Foden not playing any minutes, that he's probably going to start against Manchester United. I suppose you never know what's going on behind the scenes, though. So maybe the correct decision is to start Sarr over Foden, but I think Foden's differential, Sarr's not. So at my rank last week, Murphy was like 10%, but a lot of people had him on the bench. So I reckon Murphy will be like 20, 30%. Foden was about 13%. And then Ismail Sarr was about 40%. So in terms of who is the most highly owned of the three, it's Ismail Sarr as well. So these are the things that are just leaning me towards benching Ismail Sarr. Even if Foden starts, his ceiling doesn't feel worth it. I think Foden's ceiling is a hat-trick. I truly mean that. Foden scored a hat-trick 2 seasons ago against United. Last season, he got 2 hat-tricks. Remember, 2 20-pointers. And you can say these are previous seasons, but Foden still has that in the locker. I think Foden's ceiling on any given day is extremely high. Especially if that day is against Manchester United. Like, he loves playing against Manchester United. Alexander says, is it worth doing Savinho to Murphy? I wouldn't do that, no. I would keep Savinho. I really like Savinho as a pick. You do never know, though, if Savinho's going to start, but he looks pretty nailed on. Lewis Hines says, transfer in Murphy for Gordon or just start Gordon? I have Savinho first sub. Given you've got Savinho first sub, I'd just start Gordon, but my opinion is that Gordon won't start. But I guess you risk it because it's Leicester. But yeah, if you've got Savinho first sub, you start Gordon. The worst thing would be if Gordon gets a cameo. But I don't think it's worth doing Gordon to Murphy, because if Gordon's fit for the double, I'd probably prefer to have Anthony Gordon. Scott says, I'm planning on wildcarding 32, then bench boost 33. Yep, sounds nice. I'm captaining Isak with Salah as vice. Do I take a -4 to swap out Robinson for someone? If so, who? Yeah, at the moment, my plan is to captain Isak with Salah vice. Swap out Robinson. I mean, this week you don't want to play him. If you can play someone else this week, I wouldn't swap him out. But if you have to play him, I'll tell you when I wouldn't sell Robinson. I wouldn't sell Robinson if you're not free hit 34, because in 34, they've got Southampton away. So if you're not free hitting in 34, Robinson's great and I wouldn't sell him. If you are free hitting, yeah, I feel like the value of Robinson isn't that high at the moment with no doubles. Who would I swap Robinson out for? I think my top 4 would be a Newcastle defender, a Palace defender if you don't have the pair of them. Then I would say Gvardiol and then Saliba. If you can't afford any of those, you could go for a Forest defender. Serves most strategies okay. It really depends on your strategies, though, overall, I think. But yeah, if you've not got Palace and Newcastle, I'm not saying that right, then they would be the 2 priorities. Lauren White says, morning, would you start Alanga or Murphy? I would attack the fixture and I would start Murphy. But Alanga has been brilliant. Callum Allen says, morning, Ross, need help, of course. Bench 2 of Murphy, Eze, Rogers, Gvardiol, Munoz. Not an easy one, that. I mean, if you can, bench the 2 defenders. If you need to start one of those defenders, I would probably start... I'd start Munoz, because Gvardiol could play centre-back again. So I'd start Munoz, and I would bench out of those midfielders. If you have to bench one, it probably is Morgan Rogers for me. But yeah, if you can afford to start all 3 attackers, Callum, I always favour the attackers. So Murphy, Eze, and Rogers. Pravdeep says, hi, Ross, and happy late birthday. Thank you very much. My team is Sells, Saliba, Munoz, Aït-Nouri, Salah, Saka, Mbeumo, Semenyo, Isak, Mateta, Marmoush. Bench of Verbruggen, Cliver, Agbadou, Akolai. Any changes? Lovely team. Good goalkeeper. Really solid back 3 for this week. I like Aït-Nouri this week. Seems like a really nice player to have. Mbeumo against Chelsea could do damage. Semenyo's okay. No, mate. I'd probably roll. Unless you desperately want a player for this week. The only thing I would say is I don't expect Kluivert to be in the squad, and as a result, your bench is looking a little weak. But with Agbadou on the bench, not a bad option. I think I'd probably roll, my friend. I don't think you need to make a move there at all. Really nice team, though, Pravdeep. Switch Fruit says, who should I start, João Pedro or Eze? I'm a bit of a João Pedro hater, but he is on pens. I'd still probably start Eze, just about. MN Chuckster says, hi again. I won't have time to watch the stream today, so just wanted to wish you and all the people in the chat a good game week. Thank you very much, MN Chuckster. You're so sweet. Activated the wildcard for this week, so hopefully made decent decisions. Enjoy the weekend. You too, my friend, and I hope your wildcard goes very well. Thanks for the support, even when you're not watching. Oh, you want to wake up, do you? FPL Pickles just woken up. I woke up, I watched a bit of qualifying. I tried waking her up. A solid, maybe I'd say 9 or 10 times. She wasn't having any of it. And she's just crawled out of bed looking all like you've just woken out of a coma. She did do a night shift a couple of nights ago, so I'll allow it.
What time is it?
It is 9:10.
Oh. Okay.
I only started streaming 10 minutes ago. You're all okay.
Okay, cool.
James France says, switcheroo, wildcard and free hit. No bench boost and could stack for 36. Switcheroo, wildcard and free hit. No bench. Yeah, I don't mind that, James. Listen, if you've got an alternative strategy that works for you, go for it. I wouldn't call it free risk, but it can work out where you just slightly alter the weeks your free hit wildcard. I don't dislike it at all. I don't. It is team dependent, of course. Like, you wouldn't want to bring the free hit forward if your team's a mess. But if your team's not a mess, bring the free hit forward and then wildcard later. Don't hate it. Richard says, start 2 of Savinho, Eze, Murphy. Ooh, that's tough. That's very tough, actually. I would probably start Savinho and Murphy and bench Eze. I think Savinho, if he starts, will rip Man United a new one. And I think Murphy with the fixture. Shazam, good to see my friend. You're so generous. Says, good morning, Ross. Hope you had a good week. Have I had a good week? I've had a busy week, but I've had a good week, thank you. Rolling my transfer today, so playing Livramento instead of Gabriel. Brilliant. Bench dilemma. Bench one of Sarr, Murphy or Savinho. Oh, I guess we just sort of semi-discussed that with Eze. Bench player will be first sub if Isak doesn't play. So if I was in your position, Shazam, I would bench Sarr. But I am benching Sarr right now, and it feels terrible. What I would probably do, if you're struggling with a benching decision, throughout the stream, just for like 10, 20 minutes at a time, just put each of them on the bench. I know that sounds weird, but put Sarr on the bench, sit with it, look at your team and think, how does that feel? Then put Savinho on the bench, sit with it, and think, how does that feel? And one of them will just feel a little bit better than the others. And for me, as of right now, that's Sarr on the bench. The one I wouldn't bench is Murphy, just because I think you've got to attack the fixture there. I guess there is justification to bench Savinho, given that you don't know that it will start. Whereas with Sarr and Murphy, if they're fit, you expect them to start. Savinho, there's always a small chance he doesn't. But I think he will. So I would bench Sarr, but I think that's a little bit of a close one, Shazam. Jake says, hi Ross, start 2 out of Gvardiol, Burn, Saliba. I think I'd bench Gvardiol. That's a tough one. I think I'd bench Gvardiol. I think Gvardiol, just about. Reece sends a super chat in with a little dude just dancing like this. Is that a lemon? Is that a dancing lemon? Thanks, Reece. I don't know if you were meant to attach a message, but there's if you have a look, there's just a little lemon doing this. I like it. Josh says, Isak captain and Saka in for Eva Nilsson and Bruno -4. Isak and Saka in for Eva Nilsson and Bruno. I don't love selling Eva Nilsson and Bruno for a -4, but getting Isak cap and Saka, if you're confident that you want to cap Isak and that's the combination to do it, I respect it. I suppose, do you know what? I would do Isak in for Eva Nilsson. I don't think I'd sell Bruno for Saka for a -4. I think I'd just play Bruno. Because I was just thinking, Bruno to Saka is not a... Yeah, that's not even a downgrade to free up funds, right? That's an upgrade in terms of funds. So yeah, I would do the Isak move, Josh. I'm not sure I'd bring in Saka. Lots of Arsenal fans are predicting Saka to be on the bench again, which would suck. And I hope he starts, and I think there is a chance he does, but he's probably not getting more than 60, 70. Benjamin says, tempted to go bench boost 32 instead by adding 2 Nottingham Forest defenders. Yeah, yeah, Pickles bench boosting 32. I think if you can set up for a bench boost 32, I'd probably do it. Bench boost 33 is a lot riskier because it's 1 week further in advance. There are more things that can go wrong. You might have to take a hit. I would bench boost 32 if you can. Mosea says, bench 1 of Sarr, Eze, Rogers. I mean, you could diversify slightly, Mo, and bench 1 of your Palace midfielders, but I would probably bench Morgan Rogers. Although it is at home. Yeah, I'd still probably bench Rogers. Ewan Wood says, good morning, Ross. Good morning, Ewan. Start Savinho or Eze? I would just about start Savinho, but I think that's extremely close. I have Murphy, Salah, Saka, Mateta, Isak, Marmoush as the other attackers. Yeah, Ewan, I think you're right to narrow that down to Savinho or Eze. I would start Savinho, but I think it is a very marginal decision. Mr. Nerdista says, would you take a -8 to bring in Livramento and Murphy for Hall and Wanyeri? I don't have Wildcard, blew it many game weeks ago, but got me top 90k. Congrats on the good start to the season. I say start, you're almost at the end of the season, so congrats on the good season. In terms of whether I would take the -8, if you're having to start Hall and Wanyeri, then absolutely. But I assume you wouldn't be starting them, so who are you starting instead? In isolation, yeah, I would probably bring in Livramento Murphy, right? They've got Leicester this week, a double next week. It's probably worth the -8, but I'd need to see the whole team and stuff to give you a better answer. But yeah, I would probably do it. DB85 says, hi Ross, great live again and happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. Would you start, I love it, it's still a week after my birthday and people are still saying happy birthday. Would you start Semenyo or Sarr? Semenyo's been rubbish, hasn't he? It's probably the week that he scores. I'd start Ismaila Sarr out of those two. I did make you a cup of tea, by the way. It's probably a bit cold.
Oh,
But if you want to have that cup of tea,
thank you.
it's over by your head. I made it for you, woke you up, said there's a tea, and then you went back to sleep.
Oh, thank you.
Pickle was not having any of waking up this morning. But yeah, she did do a 24-hour awake night shift thing. Luke says, good morning, mate. Good morning, Luke. Thank you as always for being here. I appreciate you. Bench headache. Okay. Raya or Martinez / Kirkes or Gvardiol / if Saka. Wait, I'm struggling with the punctuation here. Oh, Raya or Martinez, Kirkes or Gvardiol. Okay, if Saka doesn't start, should I just bench him and play Savinho Murphy as a happy weekend? Thank you very much, Luke. So Martinez or Raya? Raya. Kirkes or Gvardiol? That one's a tougher one. I'd go Gvardiol. I would probably say Raya and Gvardiol. If Saka doesn't start, should I just bench him and play Savinho Murphy as a happy weekend? If Saka doesn't start, yes, I would bench him. So if Saka doesn't start, I will start Sarr. I know Saka scored off the bench last week, but I don't think there's any world in which starting a player that you know is benched is a good idea. So yeah. I think if we get news, and remember that Arsenal are the early kickoff, if we get news that Saka's on the bench, I will absolutely switch him for Sarr. I would even be tempted, and this shows you how much I don't think starting a benching player is a good idea, I'd even be tempted to put Ezri Konsa on the bench ahead of Saka. I know that players can score off the bench, but you don't expect that. Because we kept saying that with Dango. Remember, I had Dango for a couple of weeks, and I was like, I don't mind if he's benched because he could score off the... It doesn't happen as often as you think that players score off the bench. So, yeah, I think let's wait for news. As of right now, I'll start Saka, but if we get news he's on the bench, he'll definitely be benched for me. Aaron, good to see you, my friend, says, good morning, Raptor. Going to captain Isak, but best vice just in case he doesn't play. I think I'm just going to play it safe with Salah vice. And then at least when Salah inevitably absolutely batters Fulham, even though it doesn't seem likely, when it comes to, because Isak's playing on a Monday, if Isak starts, great, you've got Isak against Leicester. And if Isak's not in the squad, then you know that you've got Salah cap to fall back on. So I think Salah vice cap for me. Team is Raya, Munoz, Livramento, Milenkovic, Salah, Saka, Sarr, Bowen, Isak, Marmoush, Mateta. Fantastic team, Aaron. Really, really nice. I'm very jealous of Livramento. I don't think Burn's bad, by the way. I do think Livramento's the better pick. I just had 0 in the bank. Like, I literally couldn't afford it. And Jared Bowen's a cheeky little pick as well, especially in 33. Reese says, good morning, Ross. I have the wildcard and free hit left and need to change multiple players. Okay, which would you suggest for this week? Planning on possible bench boost 32. Oh, absolutely, Reese. I would say wildcard 31, bench boost 32, free hit 34. Is it your phone you were going to ask for? I put on charge, it was on at 5%, and I thought you were going to be able to use it on the stream. Yeah, I would say wildcard 31, bench boost 32, free hit 34. Discover with Sim says, Saka good, but did you notice he wasn't on corners? Really? What, in swinging corners? He doesn't always take, in fact, he doesn't usually take out, for him out swinging. So he doesn't take corners from the left-hand side ever. It's normally Declan Rice. So he wasn't, I can't imagine that continues because I genuinely think Saka has the best corner delivery in the Premier League. Like most of Gabriel's goals came from Saka corners rather than Declan Rice corners. So I think Saka will go back on corners. But I'll tell you what, if there's a full game where he starts and doesn't take any corners, then we might have an issue. Hey Ross, assistant manager options, torn between Amorim or Frank. Not Amorim. Man United aren't beating Man City, I'm sorry. I would say Frank or Potter. I think Thomas Frank's a very cheeky shout, but yeah, Frank or Potter for me. Lake of the Space Dog says, hey Ross, on wildcard, would you pick Gordon and Konsa or Murphy and Milenkovic? Murphy and Milenkovic. I don't need to start Gordon this week as Sarri is currently first bench, thanks. I get that, but I feel like you want the Leicester game. And also, we don't know that Gordon's fit. It could just keep going on that he's a doubt, hasn't trained with the group. We don't even know if he's trained yet. I just don't think that's worth the risk. Like, Gordon for me isn't 2.3 million better than Jacob Murphy. He's just not. So yeah, I would go for the Murphy and Milenkovic combination. Why have you got your hand up like you've been a naughty child at school? What's wrong?
Because I have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
My question is, should I just bench Cliver or should I start him?
Bench Cliver.
Okay.
Yeah, if you've got Cliver, I'd bench him. I mean, he could start, but he's gone from not being in the squad, not really training, and then Iraola said it would be difficult for him to play. Not start, difficult to play. To be fair, I don't think he'll be in the squad, Cliver, but what you don't want is to start him and then he's on the bench. So I just don't think it's worth the risk. It's not like he's playing Leicester at home or something. You know, like last week, it was worth the risk of starting him. Scuba Steve says, have a great game week. Thank you very much. And an awesome weekend, Ross. Keep up the good work. Love FPL therapy. Thank you very much. Imagine dropping a super chat just to say, not even have a question. What a legend, Scuba Steve. And Steve, are you a scuba legend as well? That's what I want to know. I'd love to go scuba diving. I think I'd be very terrified, but I'd love to do it. Has anyone gone scuba diving? Would they recommend? Steve, would you recommend? You're the person I should be asking. Pranav says, hey mate, love your content. Thank you very much. Your thoughts on the best wildcard team for this week? Assume no free hit in game week 34. As I
I was trying for your stream.
I bet that better be my stream.
It is your stream.
That better be my stream. And not, let me show you my phone. Is that someone else's stream?
No,
Okay, I'll let you off then.
it's the
Pickle. I could just hear Pickle on YouTube.
Tick's got a super chat and Frosty did.
Right. So, just to briefly show you, because you super chatted, wildcard wise, I can't show you like that. Anyway, go to my Twitter. This isn't a plug for my Twitter. It's just to help you for those that want a wildcard. Here you go. If you go to that tweet, there's wildcard drafts with your free hitting or not. Assume no free hit in game week 34 as I've already used it. So Pranav, there is an exact draft for if you've already used the free hit. Hopefully that helps, my friend, and thank you for the super chat. Frosty, good to see you. It's nice to see you back in the streams, my friend, when you're not busy working. I feel like you're always busy working, but here we go. Trying to work out whether to bin off Cliver or Dibbling. Whoever I keep may have to play in 34 for me. It's got to be Cliver. Based on what we know, and Iraola is super honest, to be fair, I think it was lost in translation in 30, but he's been saying that Clivert's not injured. He's overloaded his muscles. Dibbling versus Fulham, even if he starts, isn't great. I mean, Dibbling's probably going to score now. I would go Cliver. I'd keep Cliver. Also, Captain Palmer. I think Palmer's great captain. I think Palmer's top 4 captains. Top 4 captains for me are Isak, Salah, Marmoush, Palmer. I don't own Palmer, so it'd be between Salah, Marmoush, and Isak for me. But yeah, I think Palmer's a great captaincy shout. Brentford feels like a very Palmer game. Mark says, good morning, Ross. Do I bench Guardiola or Rodgers? I'd start Rodgers, start the attacker. Do you agree with 0.8 predicted points difference for Sarr over Eze? No, I think Eze's a better option than Sarr. Slightly. I mean, Sarr's data is better, so a lot of models probably prefer Ismail Sarr. I just think Eze's a baller. Like, Eze's just a better player. But no, I think it's basically 50-50 between Sarr and Eze. Niall says, hi Ross, on wildcard, Martinez, Raya, Gvardiol, Saliba, Munoz, Byrne, Livramento, Sarr, Savinho, Salah, Saka, Rodgers, Isak, Marmoush, Mateta. Who would you bench? I'd bench Martinez. I'd bench Gvardiol and Byrne. I would bench Rodgers. There you go, Niall. Very nice wildcard draft there, my friend. Very, very nice. Ninja XX says, happy birthday, Russ. I love it. Guys, it's been a week since my birthday. Stop being so sweet, everyone. I love this. I've had like a birthday week rather than a birthday day. Please advise on my free hit team. Bench boost 32. You're free hitting this week. Is that right? Do you mean wildcard team? Because that doesn't look massively like a free hit. Raya, Sells, Byrne, Munoz, Canate, Nico Williams, Konsa, Saka, Palmer, Salah, Murphy, Rodgers, Mateta, Isak, Marmoush. If that's a wildcard team, sensational. If it's a free hit team, it's terrible. Because like I wouldn't have Nico Williams on a free hit. I wouldn't have Konsa. I wouldn't have Rodgers. I arguably wouldn't have the likes of Mateta. I'd definitely have triple Newcastle. Yeah, in fact, even if that is, it's a nice team. It's a nice wildcard team, not a good free hit team. So I assume you mean wildcard. But yeah, very nice. Dashmate says, happy belated birthday, you wonderful. Sorry, happy belated birthday, you thoughtful, accidental iced tea making W boyf. Oh, accidental iced tea. I was like, when have I made someone an iced tea? Because your tea went cold. Yeah, it has literally turned into an iced tea. That was made like 45 minutes ago. Hopefully it's nice, though. You're not going to drink it, I can tell. Pickford, Robinson, Semedo, Gvardiol, Neto, Mbermo, Soboslai, Salah, Clivert, Mateta, Jalpe. Always different picks you got, Dashmate. I love that about you. Fabianski, Davis, O'Brien, Wood. One free transfer, 7.8 million in the bank. Only use the assistant manager. What's my chip strategy? Wildcard now. It's a nice team, but you can definitely improve that. So wildcard now, you've got 1 hour, 35 minutes to build a wildcard. As I said, if you go over to my Twitter and scroll down a bit, you'll see some wildcard drafts. So wildcard now. Once you've wildcarded, I would then bench boost 32 or 33, up to you. Free hit 34, triple captain 36. What you could do, if you bench boost, bless you, if you bench boost in 33, you could wildcard now, triple captain 32, bench boost 33, free hit 34. In fact, that's probably what I would do. I'd triple captain Isak in 32 if he's fit. Hopefully that makes sense, mate. But yeah, I'd wildcard this week. It's a nice team, but you could definitely improve it. Hitik says, hey Ross, got wildcard and 2 free transfers. Perfect. 110 points clear in my mini league. You're sorted then. Have differentials like Bruno, Evanilson, Cole 8. Don't want to get City assets versus Man United and keen to go into template. Should I wildcard now or hold for next week? As long as you don't want to bench boost in 32, mate, yeah, save the wildcard. Especially if you're bench boosting 33, or just to get closer to the double. Like, Storms messaged me 2 or 3 days ago. I was like, I don't understand why everyone's wildcarding this week. Why can't I just wildcard in 32? And I was like, the only reason people would really wildcard in 30 or 31 is if their team's a mess or they want to use a chip in 32. So if you don't want to use a chip in 32 and you like your team, I'd wildcard next week. Yeah, absolutely, Hitik. And the likes of 8 Nuri and Eva Nilsson and Cole Palmer are all probably going to do very well for you, I'd imagine. Brian says, need burn replacements. Okay, I'm playing assistant manager on how. Please give me your top 5 replacements. Depends when you're bench boosting, my friend, or if you've got the bench boost. If you're bench boosting 32, I'd go for a Forest defender. If you're bench boosting 33, I would go for an Aston Villa defender or a Man United defender. I know that sounds crazy, but Dorgu against Wolves, I think, is a nice option. Or you go for Wan-Bissaka or Kilman against Southampton.
If bench boost if he's activating the AM.
Oh, yeah, good point. Well spotted. In that case, I don't think it really matters. Well, I assume you've got 3 Palace, if not a Palace defender. I need to see your team to know which weeks you need a defender.
Recommend a Forest defender.
But then you won't want to play that Forest defender overly in 33, so I don't even need... If he needs a defender in 33, this is what I'm saying. I need to see your team. If you need a defender in 32, Forest. If you need a defender in 33, Villa, Southampton, or Dorgu. I think Dorgu's going to get a 15-pointer in game week 33. Clip it.
No, don't do that, 'cause I was going to have him in my 33.
RD says, as my initials RD, can get Raya, Livramento, Munoz, Saliba, Saka, Salah, Eze, Murphy, Mateta, Isak, Marmouche, Martinez, Gvardiol, Konsa, Rogers. Oof. Ooh. That looks stunning. What a wild card. I'm trying to work out if you've got insane value or if you've just done well to... Just looks like a great... Like, genuinely, 15 out of 15. I'd give that like a 10 out of 10 wild card. I can't see an issue with that at all. Actually, I can see one small issue. I'll try and critique it slightly. If Watkins goes absolutely off and starts the next couple of games, you can't go Isak to Watkins because you've tripled up on Villa. That would be my only small gripe with it. But you might not want to do that anyway, especially with Watkins not getting perfect minutes at the moment. Ross Wilding. We've got someone with the same initials, now the same name. Start 2 from Saliba, Gvardiol, Eze, Rogers. If you can start both attackers, I would start both attackers. I always prefer... Like, I'd much rather start Rogers, who's closer to goal, than Saliba, who's probably going to get 6 points. So I'd say Eze and Rogers. If you're going to start one of Saliba and Gvardiol, I'd probably start Saliba ahead of Gvardiol. Posh says, hi mate, sorry I've been away for a while, so it's great to be back watching your stream. You don't have to apologise, but thank you for being here. Would you start Cucurella or Gvardiol and Raya or Martinez? Ooh, I'd still start Gvardiol because I think Man United are worse than Brentford, and I think Gvardiol is great. Raya or Martinez? I'd still say Raya. I do think there's some justification to say... I read it as great anyway, Posh. I still think there's justification to start Martinez, but I would start Raya. Are you on bench boost 32 or 33? 33 because I've got Areola. That's basically it. Martinez and Wan-Bissaka or Konsa and Areola. Do you know what I've not considered, actually? I'm really sorry to just cut in there. If I think Foden's going to start in 32, because Gvardiol's now an issue, I'll have 2 free transfers. I might do that. Oh, damn, I didn't think about that. So my issue was I've got Areola, who I couldn't afford a better goalkeeper for a bench boost, but I've also got Gabriel now, who's injured. Downgrade Gabriel, upgrade Areola, bench boost 32. I've just thought about that out of nowhere. Thank you for asking, Jesma, because I was just like, yeah, that was the huge issue. So if I did Gabriel down to Milenkovic,
I swear to God.
and Areola up to Verbruggen,
No, you think
and I've got a great bench boost. It sounds like Pickle's bench boost. No, don't spam my streams. Monetization. No, but seriously, that's an option. I wouldn't go for Bruggen if I downgraded Gabriel. I'd go all the way up to Martinez, I think, because he would serve me better for the end of the season. So my bench boost would be Martinez, Foden, Konsa, and Milenkovic. Do you know what? That's something to assess. I quite like that. The issue is, if Foden doesn't start, or Isak is an actual injury issue, then that doesn't work. I can only bench boost if I'm... but then Saka again. That's the issue, isn't it? Like, am I convinced that Saka starts in between the Real Madrid? I'll assess it. Sorry, I didn't need to spend that long on that. But JM says, Sorry, I didn't even answer your question, Jesma. I was just starting to make my own team. Martinez, Wan-Bissaka or Konsa and Areola? Well, I'm assuming your bench boost 33 because both of them involve a West Ham player. I think I prefer Martinez and Wan-Bissaka, but that's a much more expensive combo, right? Konsa and Areola is significantly cheaper than Martinez and Wan-Bissaka. Anyway, I think Martinez and Wan-Bissaka if you can afford it. JM says, need advice, bud. Used my wildcard last week, have an injured Gabriel on the bench. I have the same triple Newcastle. Thinking of removing Burn for Howe assistant manager for game week 30 and game week 31. In 32, switch to Arteta and take Gabriel out. I think that's perfect. You could just go for Glasner, and then you don't have the issue, although you've probably got triple Palace anyway, so you probably do have the issue. I would go Howe Arteta if I had the assistant manager. Your other option is Frank Glasner. Those are my 2 favourite assistant managers. Howe Arteta, Frank Glasner. Stom says, bench boost 32, sells Gvardiol, Rodgers, Konsa versus 33, Areola, Salah, Bowen, Livramento. I mean, in isolation, 33 is significantly better. You got Salah on there, Bowen against Southampton. Livramento's not great, but I think those 2 outweigh it. Areola against Southampton, obviously, as well. In isolation, just looking at that, I prefer the bench boost 33, but it's 1 week later. I don't know what the rest of the team looks like. I don't know what the sacrifices are as well, but yeah. Manuel says, hi Ross, bench 2, Gvardiol, Saliba, Munoz, Burn, Konsa. Konsa and... Oh, that's actually tough. Konsa and Gvardiol. I'd start Saliba, Munoz, Burn. Nemanja says, brilliant name by the way, Vidic and Matic, 2 of my favourite Man United players in recent times. I loved Matic. Penny for your thoughts. Okay, I'm in deep waters. First FPL season. Okay, dropped from 200k to 500k. Still fine. Only wildcard left. Raya, Gvardiol, Robinson, Munoz, Aina, Gabriel, Mbermo, Bowen, Murphy, Mo, Marmoush, Isak, Wissa. Okay, my first thought is that is a very good team that doesn't need a wildcard. And because 33, 34 will be quite difficult to navigate, and also, by the way, we still don't have the information on 36, 37, I would be looking to wildcard in 34 or 35. So what I would do is almost attack 33, try and get your team good over the next few weeks, and then wildcard out of that in 34 or 35, and then set up the remainder of the season. I think trying to navigate 33, 34 without a wildcard or a free hit will be very difficult. Your other option you have, if you're desperate to change your team, is wildcard now, and then build a draft similar to what I showed on Twitter, where you're sort of semi-hedging your bets for 33 and 34. I would go for the latter. I would go for the former strategy. I would wildcard a bit later, though. Evan says, sorry for the long message. I'm on wildcard. Need to apologise, Evan, by the way. Need to set up for both triple captain and bench boost, then free hit. Okay? Do I triple captain Isak in 32 and bench boost in 33? Or bench boost in 32 and Saka triple captain in 33? The issue is, Saka's coming back from injury and Isak's a slight doubt. Oh, that's so tough. If we knew that Isak was fit, I think I prefer Isak 32, bench boost 33. But your issue that you face is if Isak is a doubt, you can't triple captain him and then you're stuck. So maybe for that reason, maybe bench boost 32 and then keep the triple captain. Because the thing is, if Saka's out for 33 or he's a doubt or any issues, you can triple captain Marmoush. I would bench boost 32, triple captain 33, Evan, I think. Just about. Jason F with a very generous super chat. Thank you so much, Jason. Hi, Ross. Thanks for the content. It's one of the highlights of the week. That's very sweet. It's one of the highlights of my week as well, so thank you. Would you bench Elanga or Rodgers? Oh, I'll tell you what. I hate it when they're playing in the same game. What way do I see that go? What have I predicted here? That's a good idea. I've gone Aston Villa 1-0. Because I think Forest are faltering a little bit. I still don't expect Chris Wood to start. And Villa have looked a little bit more solid defensively. In that case, I'd probably go Rodgers. I think Elanga's been so good recently, though. I'd probably go Rodgers because he's playing at home. And I think Villa will win. But that is a bold prediction given where they are in the table in Forest. Oh, that's a really tough one, mate. I trust your gut feeling more than anything. But if it was my team, I think I'd marginally have Rodgers ahead. Apax says, my Wildcard 31 team is Raya Henderson, Munoz, Konate, Livramento, Gvardiol, Consa Marino, Murphy, Salah, Saka, Marmoush, Mateta, Isak. Great, mate. Should I go double Arsenal defence instead? No, I think I'd go double Arsenal attack if I was on a wildcard. Triple captain 32 or 36. I think 32 in isolation, but if Isak's a doubt, then 36. And bench boost 33, free hit 34 looks good. Like I said to the other person I just spoke to, though, who was it? Yeah, Evan. I don't actually mind bench boost 32, triple captain 33 as well. Is another option. Cool. By the way, we are really approaching my season goal, which was to hit 150,000 subscribers. Bless you. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, we're only about 1,500 subscribers away. There are probably about 300 of you watching right now based on the stats that I have that haven't yet subscribed. So if you're not subscribed and you want to help me out, it's completely free. Please do so. Also, if you are subscribed, which means over 2,000 of you are already subscribed, could you just drop a like on the stream? It really helps early stages to just spread the stream out to other people. I really appreciate all the support. Start Savinho or Soboslai? I'd say Savinho. Harshil has been a member for 1 month. Thank you very much, Harshil. Hey, Ross, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Who to bench? Murphy, Salah, Saka, Marino, and Burmo, Isak, Mateta, and Marmoush. Oh, that's a really tough one, actually. Who I wouldn't bench is Mateta, Isak, and Burmo, Saka, or Salah. So it's Murphy or Marino. I mean, it's probably Marino because it's Everton are a decent defence and Murphy's got Leicester. That's very tough, though. I guess if we get news that Saka's benched before the deadline, then maybe it's Saka, but otherwise Marino. Victor B says, good morning, Maestro. Maestro. It's like Maestro doesn't sound right. Maestro. Start Savinho versus Sarr. I'd say Savinho. And Gvardiol versus Munoz. I think that's very close, but Munoz is more attacking. So I would say Savinho and Munoz. And then at least you're starting one Palace player and benching the other. Thank you for your support over the season. Are you joining our Premier League parade? Victor, thank you so much. I couldn't think of anything worse than joining your Premier League parade. But thank you for the super chat. But well done on a great season, honestly. Liverpool have been sensational. They really have. Gabriel Kushanov to Gvardiol Kivior / Konsa. Gabriel Kushanov to Gvardiol. I don't know that I'd sell Kushanov right now. He might come straight back into the 11. I think Gabriel to... Oh, I guess you have to get Gvardiol. I don't mind that. I would be tempted to punt Kivior, but Konsa's probably safer. I also think you could just wait. Like, this isn't a desperate fixture that you need Gvardiol for. You could just wait. If Kushanov comes straight back in, he's not a bad option. Phil with an F says, what do you prefer on wildcard? Maddison, Differential, and... No. Saliba, or Palmer and Agbadou bench? Palmer and Agbadou. I'd go Palmer for the next two. Brentford and Ipswich are nice. I'm really, really, really worried about Palmer in 32, so I'd probably go there. And I just think Maddison's fine, but his minutes are so inconsistent. And Spurs could lose to Southampton. I wouldn't be surprised. I have all of my chips and hoping to win a cup from my mini league, as I'm way off in the league. Okay. Cup starts week 34. What do you recommend I do? Team is okay. Cup starts in week 34. All of your chips. All of them. Well, I'd assistant manager 31 to 33. And then I'd probably free hit 34, wildcard 35, bench boost 37 or 8, and triple captain the 36. It's difficult because you could squeeze literally almost every chip into the back end, but you won't quite have enough space. Is that because I said squeeze into the back end? You're such a child. I can hear her giggling over there, and I realised I just said squeeze into your back end. Not into your back end, into the back end. It's a bit sus. Dave Jones says, can't afford Salah because of how bad my value is, sadly. You can. You just sell someone else. You have to have Salah, surely. How's this wildcard 31 bench boost 32 team? Ryan Munoz, Saliba, Byrne, Palmer, Saka, Eze, Murphy, Isaac, Mateta, Marmouche, Sells, Rogers, Milenkovic, Gvardiol. Yeah, I mean, you absolutely can afford Salah then. You've just gone like super good in every other position. Do you know what, Dave? If you're chasing, I'd do it. Go without Salah. He's not been great recently in terms of underlying data. That team is sensational. I would squeeze in Salah though. But yes, that team, mate, perfect for bench boost 32, other than no Salah. Have a beer, legend. Up the tune. I've read up the tune just because you said have a beer. Although, to be fair, I don't actually dislike Newcastle that much. As a United fan, I know that's probably slightly strange. But thank you very much for the super chat, Andrew. I appreciate it. Dan M says, good morning, Ross. Good morning, Dan. What would you do with Trippier? Currently starting him over Howson, but worried about gambling on both him and Isak. I think I'd still start him over Howson and risk it. He's got Leicester. That could be a 15, 18 pointer for Trippier. Yeah, I would start him and hope. The thing is with Trippier, you'd imagine that if he's fit, he starts. And if he's not in the squad, then it doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, I'd probably start Trippier if I had him. Lauren says, Saliba and Elanga or Marino and other defender under 6 million? It's a good question, Lauren. If you've not got Gvardiol, I'd say like Marino and Gvardiol is better than Saliba and Elanga for me. If you've got Gvardiol and you've not got a Crystal Palace or Newcastle defender, I'd equally say something like Marino and Trippier or Marino and Munoz is probably better. So I think I slightly prefer the Marino combination. But if you've got Gvardiol, Palace and Newcastle already, maybe Saliba and Elanga is the better combo. I don't think you can go massively wrong with either of them, Lauren. Lukey Boy says, hi Ross, on bench boost 32 and I'm on wildcard this week. Okay. Do you think Rodgers will start in 32? That's the question, isn't it? Which Villa players start in 32? Yes, I do, because he started every game bar one in the Premier League this season. Am I confident in that? No. I would still include him. Worst case scenario, if he gets like 95 minutes in the Champions League and you're worried, you could just move sideways to Rashford or Asensio. I'd be tempted to punt on Rashford and just hope that he doesn't start the PSG game. Watkins starts the PSG game with like Ramsey and Asensio and Rodgers. And if he doesn't, then he might play as the 9 against Southampton. But it's just all such a risk, isn't it? Rodgers is probably your safest bet, yeah. Lewis says, Gabriel to Saliba and bench Gvardiol. I don't know that I'd do that. I'd just start Gvardiol. You've already missed the first price rise on Saliba. I'd probably just start Gvardiol. Bass Dumbledam, supporting as always. What a legend. Says current team is Raya Gvardiol, Livramento, Munoz, Saka Murphy, Salah Eze, Isaac Mateta, and Marmouche. Yes, a great team, my friend. Great team. Should I start Eze or Savinho? I would marginally say Savinho, because I think if Savinho starts against whoever we put left back, he's going to have a field day. If it's Dorgu, which I expect, Dorgu's so attacking, he's going to leave space for Savinho. I think without Lissandro as left centre-back, we're just a little bit weaker down that side. I think Savinho would have a field day if he starts. The issue is, you know Eze will start. You know Savinho will start. I don't think that you can say that confidently. I would say start Savinho, but I think that's tough. The Pillars of UX says, what's your rationale on Isak as captain? I just think he's got such a better fixture and Isak's sensational. Salah against Fulham away is not a great fixture. I also just want to go for it. Like, I'm 33k right now. If I drop to 50k, so be it. I feel like I can claw that back with the free hit and the bench boost, and I like my team. And the thing is, I own Salah anyway. Let's say Salah gets 15 points and Isak gets 2. I've lost 13 points. And I would say that is probably worst case scenario. It could be worse, but that's a blank for Isak and a brace for Salah. Worst case scenario, I'm 13 points down. It's not season ending. So I think it's... And the best case scenario is the flip, where I can gain 13 points potentially if Salah blanks and Isak gets a brace. Well, actually be more like 11 points, but I think it's worth the risk there. When everyone's teams are slightly converging, and also I've got some nice differentials there. Let's say Salah goes massive and Isak blanks. If Foden gets a couple of goals or Murphy gets a couple of goals, then I probably am on like a grey arrow. I just don't think it's... I think we overemphasize how scary or bad it is to go against a popular captain every now and again. But Isak is flagged. I would ignore the flags in FPL. Isak is a doubt, yes. But knowing how and knowing Newcastle and Isak, I think he'll either start or not be in the squad, would be my prediction. Will Timber start? I would predict yes, but I don't know. Brian says, playing assistant manager on Howe for 31 to 33. Okay. I'm replacing Burn. I currently have the following defenders. Milenkovic, Gvardiol, Munoz, Concert, Burn. I have the bench boost and free hit left. Haven't decided when to bench boost. Considering you've got Milenkovic, Gvardiol, Munoz, and Concert as your other defenders, I would bench boost in 32. And as a result, I would bring in a defender that you want for game. Because Milenkovic has a better fixture in 32 than 33. He's got Everton at home in 32. And he's got Spurs, I believe, in 33. So I think you're looking at probably bringing in a defender with a good fixture in 32. So maybe Lewis Dunk could be a shout. Or Williams. Double up on the Forest defence. Ola Aina being injured might make them a bit weaker, but I still think with Murillo and Milenkovic as the centre-backs. Yeah, so Murillo or Williams I would probably go for. And double up on the Forest defence. And just hope they get a clean sheet against Everton. Hassam says, hi Ross, take out Kluivert for Rashford or Savinho. I'd go Savinho. Also bench Gvardiol or Kirkes. I would start Gvardiol and buy Savinho. Not that I'm a pessimistic Man United fan or anything, but there we go. Here for FPL says, hi, bench boost 32 or 33 for this team. 2 free transfers. So goalkeeper-wise, you could bench boost either. Defence involving Nico Williams. Saka Foden. Oh, that's a bit tricky, you know. Because Nico Williams as one of your defenders makes me think, oh, do you know what? I'd bench boost 32. But then you've got Martinez who doubles in 33. And you've got Foden and Saka who both could be a doubt for 32. But that's more of a bench boost 33 team, bar Williams, I would say. I think you could bench boost in either week. Maybe assess how you feel next week. If next week you're confident in a Saka and Foden starting for 32, I think that's probably a 32 bench boost. But if there are any doubts, you need all 15 players to play. Otherwise, your bench boost is a bit of a flop. Tyler Joseph says, thoughts on assistant managership this week and what manager? I would say How Arteta or Frank/Potter, Glasner. So I think you own Glasner for 32-33 or Howe for 31-32. I don't like Glasner's 31 fixture, and I don't like Eddie Howe's 33 fixture. So I think you make a transfer in there as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Jack G says, good morning, love the streams. Thank you, Jack. Need to bench one of Bowen, Eze, Murphy, or Saka. Ooh, God, that's tough. Eze, probably. Also, are there any other viable Arsenal defenders to replace Gabriel? Saliba is the best, but I think Kivior and Timber are both viable. It's a shame Lewis Skelly isn't a defender in the game. I think Kivior's a really decent shout. I just don't know when Ben White's fit, which apparently is soon, and Calafiori, I just don't know that Kivior starts every game. I think it's Saliba then Timber, your best 2 Arsenal defenders. Thoughts on Kevin De Bruyne? Well, the fact that he's leaving Man City, sad for the Premier League because he's probably not going to stay in the Prem. In terms of as an option, I wouldn't buy Kevin De Bruyne. I think he'll play in Game Week 38. And by the way, in Game Week 38, I probably expect Kevin De Bruyne to be on pens. A cheeky 1-week punt on Kevin De Bruyne in 38 could be cheeky, but no, I wouldn't buy him as an option. Shashwat says, hi Ross, sorry if I butchered your name. Wildcard this week, have Savinho and Murphy. I like Gordon for 32 and have the money to do Murphy to Rogers and Savinho to Gordon. No, I'd go Murphy and Savinho and keep the money. I just don't trust Gordon's fitness and also that his minutes will be perfect. Harvey Barnes has been playing well. And obviously, I was going to say Almiron. And obviously, Murphy on the right is really good. I would go for Savinho and Murphy, absolutely. I think you've got it right already. Billy says 3 City, 3 Palace, 3 Newcastle. Start 2 of Murphy, Savinho, Eze. I'd bench Eze just. I don't like benching Eze and Sarr, by the way. I just think that Brighton... They didn't look it against Villa, to be fair. But I think Brighton are a decent defensive outfit. And I just think Murphy's got Leicester. Savinho against Man United. Man United are one of the worst defences in the league. It's so sad to say, but we're just rubbish. We really are. And so I think when Savinho gets one-on-one with Dorgu and whoever we play at left centre-back, he's going to feast. And Savinho's so good for bonus points, by the way. Did you notice he got a single assist and full bonus? He's monstrous. Khan says, hi Ross, same problem. Wildcard 30. Now Gabriel out and Isak doubtful. Should I take hits and use assistant manager? 1 free transfer and 1.9 in the bank. Only Cliver, Nico, Martinez for Foden, Concert, Areola. Different from your team suggestions, please. If you wildcarded last week, I don't know why you're taking a what is that, a -8 hit? To sell Foden, to sell Cliver, Nico Williams and Martinez. No, I would commit to whatever... It looks like you're on a bench boost 32 strategy. If you've got Nico Williams and Martinez. I think commit to whatever your strategy was. I don't love taking a -8 hit. Even, like, you should have committed to the assistant manager before the wildcard, I think, Calm. I might be misunderstanding what you're asking here. But I would not panic. Stick to the strategy and just assistant manager 35 to 38. Hope that makes sense. War159 says, my team is Sells, Munoz, Saliba, Agbadu, Saka, Murphy, Salah, Fernandez, and Burmo, even Ilson, Isak. Cool, great team. Is it worth taking a -4 deduction on any changes? No. Not for me. Other people might take a -4 to replace Fernandez, but I think against Man City, Fernandez often does quite well. And Burmo on pens, even Ilson's probably on pens in the absence of Cliver. Murphy, it's a great teammate. Almost wildcard team, and I can tell obviously it wasn't a wildcard, but yeah. No, I don't think you need to change anything there, 159. I'd keep it. Andre says, is Mateta, Sarr, Eze not a better triple up than Munoz if on wildcard? Yeah, arguably. I think so. I think if I'd missed the Southampton game, I'd either go for Henderson rather than Munoz now as my Palace defender, or I'd go triple attack. Would you bench Marmoush or Saka to enable that triple next week? Saka or Marmoush next week? Saka probably, because we don't expect his minutes to be great. But if we expect Saka to start and get good minutes, let's say he only gets 60 against Real Madrid or something, then I think Saka's a better option than Marmoush still. But yeah, probably I'd start Marmoush. Hi Ross, what's your plans for Gabriel? I have a similar team to you. I'm going to sell Gabriel probably in game week 33, and the current plan is to do it for someone like Kilman. Or for like a cheap defender, and then maybe use the funds to upgrade elsewhere to keep them in the bank. I don't think I'm going to move to Saliba. That's not... At least I don't plan to right now. I guess we'll see what happens with injuries. Let's say Timber and Ben White are out a little bit longer term. Maybe I'll go for like a Kivior. I think basically I'm going to sell Gabriel in 33, but I want to keep my options open. I don't want to commit right now. Do I want to go for an Arsenal defender? Do I want to go super cheap? Do I want to try and attack it maybe by doing something like... I don't know, like Luca Dean or something like that, like an attacking defender for the double. There are lots of options. Or do I want to take a big punt on someone like Dorgu? Like, I'm just not sure right now what I want to do with that spot. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the decision for now, basically. Murphy or Barnes? Murphy. I think Barnes, with Gordon coming back, Barnes' minutes are in question. Rodgers or Rashford? Rodgers for minutes. I think when Rashford's on the pitch, he's more of a goal threat, but I think Rodgers' minutes will continue to be better. Rashford's still not played more than about 64 minutes, I think is the longest he's played in the Prem for Aston Villa. He's been benched of 2 of the 4 games he's been available for. Yeah, I just don't think Rashford's minutes are quite good enough for me. BJ says, Ross, good to see BJ. For a -8 this week and wildcard 35, my team will be Raya, Colwill, Munoz, 8 Nuri, Rodgers, and Burmo, Salah, Murphy, Marmoush, Isak, Mateta. So the players you're bringing in are Munoz, Murphy, Marmoush. Assistant managership, Frank 31, Glasner 32 to 33. Anything you do different? Yeah, I'll tell you what, that -8 does sort you out, doesn't it? That virtually looks like a wild card. So -8 to save the wild card and to allow the assistant manager chip. I'd get that done, BJ. I wouldn't do anything different. The 3 players coming in are great. I love the assistant manager chip being active. I like the Frank Glasner route. You have got a third. Yeah, you've left your third Crystal Palace slot open. Yeah, do you know what, mate? Go for it. I can't see any major issues with it at all. Kangstaval says, Hi Ross, sells Raya, Munoz, 8 Nuri, Burn Williams, Saka, Salah, Murphy, Johnson, Sarr, Mateta, Isak, Marmoush. Johnson because I'm a Spurs fan. I respect it. That would be the only one I'd be like, why is he there? On Wildcard, still have bench boost FTTC. I assume that's free hit triple captain. Lovely team. Great that you've got those 3 chips available. And yeah, no major issues with me, honestly. I mean, probably wouldn't have... Would I have cells? I think if you're bench boosting 32, probably. Maybe that is a 32 bench boost, although 8 Nuri, not perfect on a 32 bench boost. It looks like a 32 bench boost, but just make sure that you're committing to what week you want to play that bench boost, I guess. But yeah, really nice team. Jamie says, opinion on Mazraoui and Kilman on bench boost 33. Love them. I'm looking at maybe Dorgu and Kilman. Dorgu in for Gabriel and Kilman in for Burn. I'm looking at something like that myself, so I like that, Jamie. Bruno Fernandes is a fine option if you can afford to bring him in, yeah. Kier says, sell Gabriel and Saliba and play him over Gvardiol. Sorry, sell Gabriel to Saliba and play him over Gvardiol and drop Savinho for Eze, or just bench Gabriel and play Gvardiol, drop Eze and play Savinho. Lots of questions there. Basically, I would play Savinho and Gvardiol. I don't think you need to sell Gabriel to Saliba to bench Gvardiol. I think Gvardiol's great. He's playing against Man United. Have you seen Manchester United try and score goals recently? Also, there are suggestions that Kusanov could be back. And if Kusanov's back, Gvardiol will go to left back. And we know left back Gvardiol is a monster. Yash says, when to use the assistant manager chip on who? 31 to 33 is best. I would say How Arteta or Frank Glasner. If you don't want to play the assistant manager chip this week, I think 35 to 38 is the best chance you've got. When I say 35 to 38, I know that's 4 weeks, but basically it'll be 35 to 37 or 36 to 38. Rio says, hi, is it worth holding Palmer on wildcard? Move to Saka in 33. If I was wildcarding this week, I'd save the transfer and go Saka. I think the closer you get to 33, I know Palmer's got a brilliant fixture in 32 against Ipswich, but you're also losing a transfer there, aren't you? So unless you're stacked with free transfers, I'd go Saka. Just a note, Arsenal are the early kickoff today, so stick with me on this stream for the next 1 hour, 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and hopefully we get early team news on Saka. But bear in mind, last week, or on Tuesday, we didn't get early news on Saka. Well, we did, but a minute before the deadline. So let's see. Help me this game week, non-negotiable core team. So on Twitter, and sorry to say this, it just makes it easier. On Twitter, scroll down my tweets a little bit. I posted 2 wildcard drafts yesterday based on if you free hit or not in 34. Khan says, my apologies. I meant my team is almost the same as yours except for the 3 players, Clivert, Williams and Martinez. Should I take out Clivert and Gabriel for a -4 or only Clivert? Original plan was assistant manager 31. Okay, makes sense. Sorry, I probably misread your message, Khan, but thank you for clarifying. I think if your team's the same as me and you can get away with not selling Gabriel this week, don't sell Gabriel. Don't sell Gabriel for the sake of it. It's not like Arsenal have a banker clean sheet. Like, Everton have been attacking better under Moyes. So I would say, don't take the -4, just get rid of Clivert if you want to. And yeah, I would assistant manager 31 if that's your plan. Assistant manager 31 to 33 is best, as long as it doesn't interfere with the plan that you've already built in terms of your wildcard and stuff like that. Thank you for clarifying, by the way, Khan. I appreciate that. Saptashi says, hi, Ross. Start Kirkes/Williams and Wissa/Semenyo. I would go Kirkes and Wissa. Kirkes and Wissa. Fuel Your Grind says, start Burn for clean sheet or Munoz for upside. I'd go Burn. I think Dan Burn's got a header in him. He's 6'7", for goodness sake. He can definitely get on the end of a corner. Blicky94 says, hi Ross, on a wildcard, gone Edison, Saliba, Burn, Livramento, Alanga, Eze Salah, Saka Mateta, Isaac Marmouche, Flecken Savinio, Munoz Williams. Triple captain 32, bench boost 33, free hit 34. Little bit confused because that looks more like a bench boost 32 to me. Like, Williams isn't good. Who does Flecken have in 33? Sorry, I can't remember who Brentford have in 33. Brighton at home. Okay, I don't love this. Just because you're bench boosting 33, but you've got Williams who's got Spurs away, I think. Flecken who's got Brighton. And Elanga. That is much more a bench boost 32, my friend. I would be tempted to keep a very similar team, change Flecken to Verbruggen, and I would bench boost 32 and then triple captain 33. If you want to bench boost in 33, I don't think you should be having the likes of Williams, Elanga, Flecken. So I think you need to commit either way. But yeah, that team, but with bench boost 32, triple captain 33, looks quite good. Hi, Ross. What's your chip strategy? Thanks for the super chat, Stephen. My chip strategy is bench boost 33, although, as I said, I'm tempted to pull that forward to 32, depending upon injuries and other issues. And then free hit 34. And then that's me done. I don't have triple captain or assistant manager. But yeah, definitely free hit 34. I've committed to that. Nick Nye or Nick Nee? Sorry for butchering the whatever. I've just butchered your name terribly there. But Nicnie. Nick Nee? Nick Nye? Thank you for becoming a Rap Tier 2 member. I appreciate it. Benjamin with a very generous super chat. Thank you, Benjamin. Says, hi, Ross. Good morning. Good morning, Benjamin. My team is Raya, Gabriel, Aina, Kirkes, Gvardiol, Neto, Saka, Elanga, Salah, Kirkes, Evanilson, Marmouche, Isaac, Valdemarson, Barco. Love seeing Barco in teams. 1 free transfer in 0.1. I've got my wildcard and free hit available. What do you suggest? Okay, do you need a wildcard? Raya, Gabriel, great. Oh, Gabriel's not great, actually. I keep forgetting he's injured. You got Kirkes, Neto. Oh, it's such a borderline. It probably doesn't need a wildcard now. What I would do, if you've only got wildcard and free hit and no bench boost, Benjamin, which I'm assuming because you've just said you've got wildcard and free hit, I think I would wildcard that next week. I think I would wildcard 32 because you've got no Palace and no one Newcastle. Okay. I would wildcard 32, free hit 34 of that team, Benjamin. So maybe leave it this week. Don't need to make a transfer, I don't think. And actually, you might need a defender. No, you've got Aina, Kirkes, Gvardiol. Oh, Aina's injured. Oh, that's tough then. I forgot Aina's injured. Wildcard. Sorry, wildcard now, Benjamin. You need to wildcard this week or next week and then free hit 34. But I think with Aina and Gabriel injured, you wildcard this week. I'd wildcard this week. If you want to see my wildcard draft again, I posted it on my Twitter yesterday. So just scroll down a little bit on my Twitter and you should see it. Dave Jones says, I know rank shouldn't influence decisions. I think it should. I want to make this very clear, by the way, because I think earlier on in the season, I say don't play based on rank, don't play based on ownership. In Game Week 31, you should absolutely play based on ownership and rank. Because there's only 8 game weeks left now. You need to make decisions based on how far you need to catch up or chase. So Dave says, I know rank shouldn't influence decisions, but I'm 1.5 million. I kind of want to captain Palmer as a result. Yeah, definitely do it. If you're 1.5 million, you need to make several differential decisions every week if you want to catch up to like the top 500, top 250k. So yeah, I absolutely, Dave, would start taking all kinds. Well, what's the difference between 1.5 million and 2.1 million, right? You might as well go for it. Whereas 1.5 million versus 700k, that feels very different, right? So I would absolutely make differential decisions now. Polkit says, sells... Thank you very much for the super chat, Polkit, as always. Says, sells Kirkes, Munoz, Salah, Semenyo, Savinio, Murphy, Saka, Marmouche, Mateta. Great team. Bench of Wood, Greaves, Castagna. I took a hit this week. Yes, fine though. It's a nice team to have after the hit. Triple captain Isaac 32, free hit 33, dead end 34, wildcard in 35, bench boost 36. Yeah, do you know what, Polkit? With your team, that's a really nice strategy, isn't it? You got Sells in there already. You got Kirkes. You got Semenyo. You've got Salah. You've got Murphy. If Wood's back by then, you've got Wood. Yeah, it's not a terrible team for 34. Could bring in a couple more new... Yeah, I like that. I like that strategy, Polka. Well done, by the way, for having all of those chips. Bloody hell. Yeah, I have no issues with that. And it's an alternative strategy. To be able to free hit in 33 is a massive differential advantage there. I like that a lot. Harshil says, hey, so this team, Isaac, Mateta, Marmouche, Salah, Saka, Marino, Murphy, Imbermo, Livramento, Timber, Robinson, Milenkovic, Munoz, and Pickford. No wildcard and free hit. Which game week do I use the bench boost? Pickford. Pickford's the key here. Let me have a look. 33, Pickford's got City, Forest away. 36, Pickford's got a good fixture there, doesn't he? Fulham away. Who's the rest of your team? Robinson, Milenkovic. 32. Yeah, I think that's a 32 bench boost, Harshil. Who does Robinson have in 32, though? Sorry, guys. I know most of the fixtures, but for teams like Fulham and Everton, I've not really looked at their Bournemouth away. I think 32, like you're not going to have a perfect bench boost given you don't have the free hit and wildcard to navigate, but I think 32 stands out to me there, my friend. Depends who your backup goalkeeper is, actually. You've only listed one goalkeeper there, haven't you? Anyway, I think 32 probably, but I need to see your other goalkeeper and some other stuff there. Morgan says, hey, Ross, wildcard 31, bench boost 33. Okay. Edison, Rogers, and Murphy. Bench boost 33. Edison, Rogers, Murphy. Okay. Martinez, Savinho, and Rogers/Murphy. I think you want Murphy. So Martinez, Savinho, Murphy, or Edison, Rogers, Murphy. I think I prefer Martinez, Savinho, and Murphy. Appreciate the advice and happy birthday. Thank you very much. I would say, Morgan, the latter option, Martinez, Savinho, Murphy. Stratsty says, play 2 of Bruno Fernandes, Alanga, or Semenyo, or take a -4. I'll play Bruno Fernandes and Alanga. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes and Alanga. Thor says, wife got unlucky with Aina and Rogers benched in game week 30. Okay. Aina and Rogers. Yeah. Yeah. Eva Nilsson. Wait, Aina benched?
No, they had Aina in their team and bench Rogers, I think.
Oh, God. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Two different. Wife got unlucky with Aina and Rogers benched in game week 30. Your wife is extremely unlucky, Thor. I feel like you're like cursed her team or something. Eva Nilsson and 8 Nuri, the difference makers for me. Thor, you must really struggle to not be really smug. I'd be pretty smug. Crunch time for our beloved Seagulls today. Might have to go for a walk. Big game. Huge game. Huge game. What have I predicted? I've gone Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1. That's going to be a very, very tense game between Brighton and Palace. Less so for Palace. Like, Palace probably aren't going to make Europe, but big game for Brighton. Big game. Thank you for the super chat as always, mate, and thanks for the update. I just want your wife to have like a couple of really good weeks. Played wildcard. I have the triple captain, free hit, and bench boost. Okay. Need help with strategy and which defenders to buy for each strategy. Oh God, that's a lot to think about. Your best strategy with triple captain, free hit, and bench boost, I think, is to free hit 34. Well, I haven't seen your team. I need a little bit more than that, Brian. But if your team is roughly similar to what a lot of other people have, I think it's... Bless you. I think it's free hit 34 and then bench boost 32, triple captain 33, or the other way around. So I think you want to basically play triple captain, bench boost, free hit in 3 consecutive weeks. But I don't know what the rest of your team is. I don't want to just ditch your message, but I'd need so much more information to help you there. Start Eze or Savinho. Savinho for me. If I bench boost 32, how should I use triple captain and free hit? You're cool, by the way. Thank you very much. I don't think I've ever been called cool. Should I use my triple captain and free hit? Triple captain 33 and free hit 34 would be my strategy. But again, I need to see your team. You might not need the free hit in 34, for example. Pratik says, appreciate you, Ross. I'm back again. Back as always. I'm inclined to go with your wildcard draft 1. Okay, makes sense. Free hit 34 on Twitter. 2 questions. When to use the bench boost and why no Palmer on either? No Palmer on either because you're going to want Saka and it saves you a transfer. The wildcard draft that I built on Twitter allows you to bench boost in 32 or 33. It's a hybrid. You could, for example, replace one of those players with like a Milenkovic or something and like commit more to a bench boost in 32. But that draft sets you up for a bench boost in 32 or 33. So I think you can decide that yourself, Pratik. That was the idea behind it, is that I didn't commit either way. It also sets you up if you don't have a bench boost, for example. Sorry, Chunks' message let me know. I don't know what I'm letting know. Right. Oh, my stream's just crashed. That's nice. I don't think it's crashed, actually. I think it's just my YouTube. I'm going to keep talking because my streaming software says I'm still streaming. I think my Chrome just crashed. Hopefully you can still hear me, chat. My Chrome's just crashed. Can you let me know in the chat? I think it stayed streaming. Yeah. Fine. Cool. You're fine on my end. Perfect. My I don't know if anyone uses Chrome, it come up with that error message just saying error like connecting to the page. Okay, awesome. Legends, all of you. Thank you for being here. Again, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Really, really, really trying to hit that end of season goal. Just over a month left, and I need 1,600 subscribers. Last month, I gained 1,600 subscribers. So it's going to be very close, but I could really do with all of the support. So if you're not yet subscribed, please do so. Right, let me get back to the messages. Where was I? Bob says, same back six as you, but got Gabriel to Saliba. Bench who? I think it's probably Gvardiol or Munoz. I'd start Saliba and Burn, and then it's 50-50. I'd probably bench Gvardiol, because if he plays centre-back, his attacking threat's quite limited. And you never know. Man United at home against Man City, they could grab a goal. I've got them scoring 1 goal here. Maybe it's slightly optimistic, but Mr. Marston has been a member for 26 months. Thank you. Bench Gabriel and roll, or free transfer now? I'd bench Gabriel and roll. You just don't need to commit or necessarily want to commit this early. What happens if Saliba picks up an injury after you transfer him in? Like, is it necessary? If you've got 3 or 4 defenders that play, I just don't see the value in rushing that transfer right now. You might save a bit of value, but it's probably not worth it. Mark says, hi, Ross, on a wildcard. Okay, best 4.4 defender for bench boost 33. It's probably Kilman, my friend. Kilman, I'd say. Got Southampton, plays every game. I think for 4.4, I can't think of anyone else better than Kilman. Maybe Mazraoui, but I think I'd prefer Kilman probably. Eddie says, start 3 of Livramento, Burn, Gvardiol, Sarr, Rogers, Savinho. If you can afford to start your 3 attackers, I'd say Sarr, Rogers, Savinho. Actually, you can't, because you have to start at least 1 defender. I would start Livramento, Savinho, and Sarr. Eddie. Nathan says, I have Raya, Fabianski, Williams, Livramento, Munoz, Kirkes, Greaves, Saka, Foden, Alanga, Salah, Eze, Marmoush, Mateta, Isak. Lovely team, other than maybe Fabianski. No free transfers and 1.7 million. Free hit 32 or 33 and what transfers? So you've got Livramento, Munoz, Eze, Mateta. You've already got 5. No. So it's not free hit 32. Free hit 33, I guess you could do. You don't even need the 3 hit 33 desperately, you know. You've already got Raya, Munoz, Saka, Foden, Salah. No, sorry, not Salah. Eze. No, yeah, Eze, Marmoush, Mateta. You've got 7 doublers already. I don't think you need the free hit in 32 or 33. I think you could free hit 34. In terms of transfers, it depends on your strategy that you commit to, Nathan. I'd free hit 33 or 34, though. Definitely not 32. I wonder if you meant bench boost rather than free hit. If you mean bench boost, 32 and sell Fabianski. Doing wildcard and stuck on my 5th midfielder. Ideas. Rogers. Marino, Rogers. Got a few different options there. I'd say on a wildcard, I would definitely have Salah, one of Saka or Palmer, but let's say Saka. So Salah, Saka. I'd go for at least 1 Crystal Palace midfielder. Let's say Sarr. And I would have Murphy. And then that last one, I would go Rogers or Marino. Probably. Saptashi says, hi, Ross. I don't have wildcard and already made 2 transfers. Okay. Now I'm thinking to make a goalkeeper transfer, Pickford to Pope. Is it worth to take this -8? Pickford to Pope. I don't think it's worth taking a hit for a goalkeeper like that this week. I don't mind that next week for free, maybe slightly more. I don't know that I'd do Pickford to Pope for a -4 this week. Pickford will make a lot of saves. Pope, I do think they could get a clean sheet, but I don't think it's a given. Like, I've got Leicester as scoring. I wouldn't do that, no. No, I wouldn't take a hit for a goalkeeper. Teddy says, tripled on Crystal Palace and Newcastle. 1 free transfer and playing assistant manager strategy. 2 options. Play it this week on Frank or Potter, and then you have to free up the Crystal Palace slot next week. Or I would probably sell your Newcastle defender and activate it on Eddie Howe. So sell Dan Burn or Livramento, activate the chip on Eddie Howe, and then just accept that you've had to sell one of your players. But yeah, I think they're your 2 options. Go this week on Potter or Frank and delay having to remove one of your Palace or Newcastle. Either way, you're going to have to remove one of your Palace or Newcastle because it just makes sense to play it on Howe or Glasner for 30, 32 at least because they're the only 2 teams that double. Ross Fraser says, Raya, Saliba, Tino, Gvardiol, Mo, Saka, Savinho, Gordon, Mateta, Marmoush, Isak. Bench of Areola, pardon me, Munoz, Sarr, Neko. Changes. Did wildcard 30 and Gab to Saliba. Bench boost 33, free hit 34. Great teammate. Gordon's the only concern. I'd almost be tempted to start Sarr ahead of Gordon, but I suppose he's got Leicester, so you just got to risk it. Other than Gordon, who is a slight concern for me, I think you're good. Yeah, it changes to the starting 11. I know what you mean, mate. Would I start him? I don't think... I'd start Gordon. I'd start Gordon and risk it. I think I would be tempted to start Munoz over Gvardiol, but I don't know that I would definitely do that, Ross. So I think you're good. Josh says, hiya, I'm ranked 300th, thanks to your great advice. 300th. Thinking of taking a few more risks as I'm 80 points off first. I love that. I love that your thought at 300th in the world is to try and aim for first. Loads of people would try and protect. Start Savinho or Eze. I'd start Savinho if you want to take risks. Yeah, I would go for it. It's easy for me to sit here and say that now, but yeah, you're not going to probably be ranked 300 many more times in your life. So go for it. Try and aim for the top. If you want to take a risk, it's captaincy. Don't captain Salah this week if you want to take a risk. If you want to be safe and just secure that top 1k finish, then captain Salah. And I think Eze is probably slightly higher owned, so I'll probably start Eze. Blicky94 says, my fear is doubles / blanks in 36-37. Any thoughts on players for both 33 and 35 to 38? Want to save transfers by having Forest, West Ham players now. Forest and West Ham are 2 of the teams most unlikely to double in 36 out of the ones that could, though. The teams that are most likely to double in 36 are Bournemouth, Man City, Aston Villa, and Spurs. Mainly Bournemouth, Man City, and Aston Villa. Those 3 teams. In terms of those that double in 33, therefore, Man City and Aston Villa are the 2 teams where if you have 3 of them in 33, they could also double in 36. I guess by having Forest and West Ham players, though, if they don't double in 36, then you'll have them for 37. So start Livramento, Milenkovic, or Konsa. Livramento. Yaz says, Raya in goal, Saliba or Gvardiol. Still Saliba for me. And Savinho or Sarr, I would just about go Savinho. Harshil says, we'll have 2 free transfers by game week 32 for bench boost. Can you recommend any players to bring into my team? Sorry, can't type my team again. Please look up from the super chat before. Sorry. No worries, Harshil. Let me find that. I don't think it was that far up, was it? Players to bring in for a bench boost 32. Again, I need to know who your other goalkeeper is, Harshil. But make sure that you've got 2 good goalkeepers. Verbruggen would be a good goalkeeper to own. And so would Sells. Outside of that, maybe Robinson to a better defender. Like Robinson to Milenkovic might be a slightly good upgrade. Other than that, my friend, I don't think you need to make many transfers. Your team looks pretty good for 32. But yeah, they would be the top 2. Would be goalkeeper transfer probably required. And then maybe... Oh, you've got Milenkovic already. Robinson to... I don't know. Dunk. Maybe attack the Brighton fixture against Leicester or something like that. Jay says, hey Ross, here's my team. Sells, Munoz, Gvardiol, Burn, Saka, Alanga, Salazar, Marmoush, Mateta, Isak. I've got one free transfer. Thoughts? My thoughts are, fantastic team, roll the transfer. I can't see your bench, but starting 11-wise is fantastic, Jay. You don't need to make a transfer. Really nice team. Toby says, Eze, Marino, Martinez, or Sar, Rashford, Raya. My initial instinct when I looked at that, Toby, was Eze, Marino, Martinez. Tobias says, Raya, sells Saliba, Williams, Munoz, Gvardiol, Livramento, Salazar, Saka, Murphy, Rogers, Mateta, Isak, Marmoush. On Wildcard. Bench boost 32, is it good? 2 free transfers for 33 for Villa City. So you're on bench boost 32. So Williams is good on your bench boost. I assume that Sells will be... So Sells, Williams, Saliba, Rogers. So your bench boost would be Sells, Williams, Saliba, Rogers. Yes, great. Yeah, great team, mate. You've balanced that well. Bench boost 32 still looks good, but your team will look good for 33. No concerns or issues there. Liam says, how many free transfers do you have? I've got 1 free transfer and 0 in the bank. I've got no flexibility. Oh, you're awake? No, you are. Are you awake? No.
I don't want to be.
Go back to sleep then. You're not going to miss anything. If you miss anything, I'll wake you up.
I can't.
Start 2 of Mateta, Semenyo, Sar. I'd start Mateta and Sar. Munoz or Timber. Munoz, because Timber's a doubt. I'd start you 3 Palace, basically, apparently. Start Savinho or Sar. I'd start Savinho there, Daxel. Sar or Savinho? Savinho. Lots of people have got the Savinho versus Sar debate. Let us know in the chat right now, and then everyone look at the chat. What would you do? Start Savinho or start Sar? I would lean Savinho just because I know how bad Man United are. Especially down that left flank, we do concede a lot of chances. Or like their right flank, our left flank. Savinho Sar is a close one, isn't it? Start both of them. Yeah, in an ideal world you would. Zubin says, good morning, Ross. Thoughts on Amorim as assistant manager before moving to Glasgow in 32? I just don't trust Man United, so I would go Frank or Potter instead. Frank and Potter both have table bonus. So I would go Frank or Potter, but Amorim's fine. Also start Savinho or Mateta. In that case, I'd start Mateta because of the penalties. Should I bench Sar or Savinho again? Did I just get the same one again? Wow, lots of that question. Sorry I've answered. Start Foden over Sar. I mean, look at my team. I'm starting Foden over Sar. I think that's extremely close, though, because Savinho's minutes look a little bit better than Foden's. Like, Foden might not play again.
Yeah, I would personally bench Foden.
Pickle would bench Foden. I would start Foden. So that's what I'm doing. What are the games this week in terms of the days they're played? So we've got Arsenal's the early kickoff. Brighton Palace. Oh, I've got it in front of me. Brighton Palace at 3. Ipswich Wolves at 3. West Ham Bournemouth at 3. And then Villa always play 5:30 on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. Is there a reason for that? Villa are always on at 5:30 on a Saturday. There must be a reason in terms of maybe it's like, I don't know. Villa have literally played every 5:30 Saturday game this season, I feel like. Do you agree? How many times have we sat here and watched a 5:30? Anyway, Brentford Chelsea 2 on Sunday. Fulham Liverpool. Spurs Southampton. United Man City at 4:30. And then Leicester Newcastle. So, oh my God, all my players are playing. So by 4 p.m. on Sunday, I would have only had 5 players play. I've got Triple City at 4:30. And then on Monday, I've got Triple Newcastle, including my captain. Oh my God, I'm going to be on the biggest red arrow of all time by 4 p.m. on Sunday. My Triple City and my Triple Newcastle, including my captain, wouldn't have played yet. Lukey Boy says, yeah, they do. Glad someone else caught on to that. Yeah, they do always seem to play at 5:30. And do you know who else? Like, I always feel like West Ham always seem to play on a Monday. You want to make a tea?
Yeah, but I feel bad. So
Okay, well, do it, but empty the kettle so that there's barely any water so that it boils for less time. Because boiling a full kettle takes like 2 minutes and it's so loud it will come through on the mic. My kitchen, I live in like a studio, so my kitchen is like a meter behind this screen. So if she boils the kettle, you won't be able to hear me for like over a minute. You can make it, but yeah, just make the kettle really empty. And let me know and I'll take it as a drink break as well. Law says, followed your advice and prioritised enjoying FPL this year. That might be my favourite super chat I've ever received. Good. Don't think it's a coincidence I'm second in my mini league with a big chance to win it. Good as well. So not only are you enjoying it more, but you're also smashing it. Good job, Law. That makes me very, very happy. Carry on enjoying it. I always think, like, my advice in my book is that the last chapter is if you can do one thing with FPL, it's find a way to enjoy it. I say, and someone commented, like, how stupid is this sentence, but I would rather finish a million and enjoy FPL than first and hate it. What do you benefit from winning but hating it? There's no benefit. You don't win a massive cash prize at the end of it. You win a keyring and some tickets to a Premier League game. Like, there's no benefit to winning FPL if you're not enjoying it along the way.
True, but knowing you personally, you would not be enjoying FPL if you were 1 million rank.
No, and that's the point. I'm not saying, like, I would rather enjoy it and win it, but if you give me one or the other, I would rather enjoyment rather than a good rank.
I must admit, I'm not enjoying it right now, sadly.
Anyone that's got a good rank right now or has had a good rank, has anyone ever enjoyed it?
It's so stressful.
My favourite season was when I was chasing heavily. I think it was the one I finished 35k, but I was like 600k, and every week, because I was chasing, I was getting greens. My least favourite season in terms of FPL, not YouTube, in terms of FPL, was the season when I hit 99th in the world, and then I was top 10k the whole season and finished 10.1k. That was my least favourite season, because it was like hanging on for dear life. It's just awful. Munoz or Sar? Sar ahead of Munoz. Hi, Ross. Chip strategy if I still have AM chip. If you can play it this week, 31 to 33 AM. Otherwise, play it after 34. So 35 to 37 or something like that. Semenyo or Sar? I would go Sar in that situation, personally. Eze or Savinho? It's the same as Savinho versus Sar. I would start Savinho, personally. Shaunak says, considering I do wildcard in 31, should I bench boost 32 and triple 33? Okay, let me look at your team. So your keepers are Henderson and Sar. Yeah, probably marginally prefer that for 32, I think. Let me double check. Who have Wolves got in 32? Spurs. Spurs at home versus United away. That's pretty close. Kirkes, Gabardio, Munoz, Bruno, Mbermo, Mo, Cole, Evanilson, Marmouche, Pedro. I think with Mikalenko in your team and João Pedro in your team, yes, I think bench boost 32. Wait, is that your wildcard team? That can't be your wildcard team, can it? If that's your wildcard team, why do you have Jose Sarr? Why do you have Kluivert? Why do you have Mikalenko? Why do you have Gabriel? If that's not your wildcard team, then I need to see your wildcard team to know whether you're going to bench boost in 32 or 33. Right? I'm a bit confused. Sorry, Shaunak. Because you've said, considering I'm wildcarding in 31, but then giving me your non-wildcard team. Let me know. Start 2 out of Eze, Savinho, and Murphy. Murphy and Savinho. MJM says, good morning, Ross. Good morning. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you have a good weekend as well. Thank you very much. I feel like I'm the only person who kept Mbermo on wildcard, probably, yeah. Why has everyone sold him? He is almost inevitable this season. I'm on assistant manager Potter this week. I love the Potter assistant manager shout. I will tell you why. Because just terrible fixtures. Mbermo's fixtures were Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, Forest. At the time, Brighton was second over the last 10 for expected goals conceded. Chelsea were 5th, so I don't think Chelsea are a bad defence. And then Arsenal, Forest and Newcastle were brilliant. It was 5 really tough fixtures in a row and quite a few away games in there as well. I think 3 of the 5 were away. So, by the way, Mbermo's great, but if you want to know why people sold him, it's because the fixtures weren't there to attack. Okay, I'm going to take a little drink break. 2 seconds, guys. Right, sorry for the loud background, guys. There's a kettle boiling because Pickle, who's just there. Do you want to show a hand or something? She's like, no, I don't want to show a hand.
My hands are crossed.
Okay, Pickle's sat just there. She's trying to make a cup of tea because she's tired, and I feel bad not letting her have a cup of tea. So there's going to be a loud kettle in the background for approximately 1 minute.
It's nearly done, I can tell.
Sell or play Allison. Don't have a backup goalkeeper. If you've got loads of free transfers to work with, sell. Otherwise, I just leave it. It's just not worth it when you've got other transfers that you probably need to make. HGRO. Do you reckon I start Timber ahead of Burn? I would start Burn ahead of Timber just. Only because Timber's a slight doubt. If I knew Timber was definitely going to start, then I wouldn't. Doesn't sound too bad. That's good. Kettle noise isn't that bad, guys. That's good. Hi, Ross. Start 2 of Edison, Areola, Rogers, Gvardiol. Edison, Areola, Rogers, Gvardiol. Edison. Rogers. Edison and Rogers. Start Kepa or Martinez. So it's West Ham or it's Forest. Kepa. Martinez. I'd start Emi Martinez. Frank assistant manager 20-pointer. Do you know what? I could see that coming. I could. Actually, I looked on the projections today. Thomas Frank has shot just above Graham Potter on the assistant manager projections for today. For this game week. So yeah, I think Frank or Potter are both absolutely fine. It's not a wildcard team, but was thinking, can I avoid wildcard? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, let me now look back at that, Shaunak. So you can avoid wildcard, but I don't know why you necessarily would. No, I would wildcard this week, Shaunak. If you've got time in the next 30 minutes, I would wildcard. I see no reason why you wouldn't. You've not got enough Crystal Palace and Newcastle players, have you? Henderson, Munoz. So you've got 2 Palace, I think. And if you've got 0 Newcastle. You've got 0 Newcastle and 2. Yeah, you need to wildcard, my friend. I would wildcard this week, bench boost 32 or 33, and then triple captain the other one. But yeah, wildcard, bench boost, triple captain would probably be my play. Palmer, Salah, or Marmoush for vice captain. I play it safe. I'd vice captain Palmer. No, I wouldn't. Sorry, Salah. Marino, Murphy, Gordon. Which one? In isolation, Murphy. Price considered. Steven says, what would you do here with 1 free transfer? Team is Raya, Timber, Burn, Gvardiol, Saka, Murphy, Semenyo, Salah, Isak, Marmoush, Mateta. Bench of Sarr, Konsa, Munoz. I would do absolutely nothing with that team, Stephen. Got a great team. Your bench is stacked. Good starting 11. I would be semi-tempted to start Sarr over Semenyo. But other than that, Stephen, I don't think you need to do anything with your team. Best replacements for Fabianski and Greaves, bench boost 32. If you need cheap replacements, probably Verbruggen and Dunk can double up on the Brighton defence against Leicester. If you're looking for a different keeper to Verbruggen, if you can afford Sells, maybe Sells and Dunk, or Verbruggen and Williams. I think basically Brighton and Forest are good players to target for a bench boost in 32. By the way, if you are one of the 4,000 people watching right now that hasn't done one of the following things, subscribed or liked, could you please do whatever you haven't done? That would be great. We're almost at 1,000 likes, only 250 off. And I'm trying to hit 150,000 subscribers this season. I think we're about 1,500 off now. So if you're one of the 4,000 people that hasn't subscribed, please do so. It really supports me and it's free. It doesn't change your life at all. It just adds my name to your subscription box. But it helps me out a lot, you know? Dango or Sarr already got 2 Palace players. Sarr. Josh says, I sent a super chat. Did it come through correctly? I have not seen a single thing, Josh, with your name. Let me just double check. Josh. No, it didn't. I mean, check your bank, Josh. If it came out, complain to YouTube. Because I haven't received it. But the fact that I can't see it means it probably didn't go through. So check again, my friend. On wildcard 31, deciding between holding Palmer and going to Saka in 33. Okay, or just do it now. And what's the news with Isak? With Isak, we don't know, but they play on Monday. Apparently, he's not injured. He's just got a niggle. I'm willing to risk it. If it goes horribly, it goes horribly. You have a coffee? I thought you were making a tea, and I was like, that smells like coffee. Yeah. Oh, now I want a coffee.
Do you want me to make you one?
Was there enough water in the kettle?
Just about, I think.
So I've got like the scaly bit at the bottom of the kettle, is that what you're telling me? I'll make...
Although they said the noise isn't that bad.
Maybe in a bit. Maybe I'll do it post-stream. I'll have a coffee. Sorry, guys. Just discussing if I'm going to have a coffee or not. By the way, got just under 30 minutes till the deadline. Just under 30 minutes. I want to say something, but I don't want to jinx it. Sorry. So go Palmer. Chat, what would you do with this? Lots of people asking me. They're on Wildcard 31. Would you go for Palmer for 2 weeks and book in a transfer to Saka in 33? Or just go Saka now?
I'll just go Saka now because I'm regretting the fact that I need to take a hit.
I get that. But in 32, Saka might not play because it's in between the Real Madrid games. And Palmer's got Ipswich at home. I would still go Saka, but I think there is loads of justification to go with Palmer and attack the next couple of weeks. Dave asked a very, very similar question. But he's asking about start with Palmer and then sell to Savinho or just start with Savinho. Oh, that's tough as well, though, because Savinho's great for 33. I would just start with the players you want for 33 and just hope that Palmer doesn't go massive. Captain Isak. I'm going to captain Isak. I don't necessarily recommend that you follow me on that, though. Oh, that's hilarious. I was going to make a comment that the stream hasn't lagged at all. And as I was saying, you know, when I said I don't want to jinx it, I just looked and it just cut out for a second. Aaron, is your thoughts on captaining Isak that if Isak doesn't play or get 0 minutes and if he plays, he'll most likely start? That is my thought process, yes. My other thought process is that I just think he will start because this groin injury that Isak's got right now, or this niggle, he's had all season, on and off. So this isn't something where they're willing to rest him. It's not something where it's keeping him out for like 6 to 8 weeks at a time. It is something that he's been struggling with and it's ongoing. So unless he's going to go for surgery now, which I would expect would be in the summer if he does, I think he'll start. But I don't know that. And yeah, my thought process is if he's got a groin injury that's allowing him to not start the game, he won't play at all. The concern with Isak for me isn't him getting a cameo. That isn't my concern. My concern is he plays 5 minutes, pulls his groin and comes off. Because I think that's right. If you've ever got a proper groin injury, which I've suffered with quite a few times, I tore my groin 3 times when I was playing professional football. 2 of the occasions I re-injured the same groin, and you can do it within 5 minutes. You kick the first time you kick a ball, which is normally when you do your groin rather than running, kick a ball and your groin's gone. So that would be the concern, is that he starts, he's fine, and then 10 minutes in he has to come off. But I'm willing to take that risk. Jensen says, good morning, Ross. Start Edison or Emi Martinez. That's very tough. I would go Edison there, I think. Dan Burn or Saliba? Saliba. Gordon or Rogers? Rogers. Matthew says, thoughts on this wildcard with bench boost 32. Raya, Verbruggen, Saliba, Gvardiol, Munoz, Burn, Livramento, Salah, Saka, Eze, Sarr, Rogers, Isak, Marmoush, Watkins. Love it. I do think Watkins is a slight concern, especially given that it's in between the 2 PSG games and your bench boost 32. Like, would I be surprised to see Rashford on the bench for PSG and then start as the 9 in the Prem? I wouldn't. So I would worry slightly about Watkins, even Rogers to some extent as well. I love the team though, Matthew. That's my only concern is those 2 Villa players, do they start? But you've probably got to take the risk. Discover with Sim says, in the case of Saka and taking corners, could it be injury risk management not having him on them? Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah, it's a hamstring injury. Was it his left hamstring though? I'm trying to think when he went down. What was he holding? If it's his left hamstring that he injured, Arsenal fans, you'll know which hamstring he did. If it's his left, you're probably right, Sim. That could genuinely be the case. Yeah, maybe it's just like avoid Saka having to yeet the ball too hard, you know? Yeah, that's an interesting comment, actually. Let me have a look. What's the chat saying? Was it his left or right hamstring? Oh, no one's commented. Maybe no one knows. Thoughts on Lewis Skelly? He's a midfielder, just so you know. 4.5 midfielder. He's not a defender. And so therefore no, because you're not going to get the clean sheets. Why isn't Saka going to start? Well, I hope he does, but it could just be because he's not ready to start. I hope he'll start today. Because he got 30 minutes off the bench, didn't he, against Fulham. Or 25. Josh, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Hey, love the vids. Thank you very much. Not sure what happened firstly. I'm on Wildcard this week. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like, what happened firstly? This is the Josh. Okay, this worked. I can see this one, Josh. I'm on my wildcard this week. Sells, Pope, Kanate. Okay, this is 32 bench boost, right? Sells, Pope, Kanate, Milenkovic, Munoz, Konsa, Colwill, Palmer, Salah, Saka, Alanga, Murphy, Mateta, Marmoush, Isak. No free hit left. Oh, I love that. Okay, so you got Sells and Pope to choose from for 34. Kanate, Milenkovic, and Colwill for 34 defense. Got Palmer in there. Mate, that is a brilliant team. Brilliant. 32 bench boost, yes. Cool, you've nailed that, mate. Nailed it. Perfect for bench boost, perfect for 34. You've not hugely sacrificed 33. Yeah, sit back and relax, Josh. That's a nice team. I like that a lot. Hi, Ross. Thanks for the amazing content. You're welcome, Limit 613. Confused with a fifth mid. Marino, Martinelli, Savinho. Savinho. I'd go. In order, I'd say Savinho, Marino, Martinelli. Martinelli's too much of a rotation risk, as you say, for me. Savinho is also a rotation risk, but a higher ceiling. I'd say Savinho, Marino, Martinelli. Just about. But I think you can't really go hugely wrong with Marino or Savinho. Hi, Ross. Only way to get Isak is to take a -4 to do Evanilson to Isak and Kluivert to Winks. I'm thinking to leave it and go for a really long nap Monday. Oh, I don't like Kluivert to Winks. Yeah, that stinks. Stinky Winks. Tinky Winky. Stinky Winks. Sounds like a Teletubby, Stinky Winks. Sorry. Harry Winks was my friend at Spurs as well. I literally shared a hotel room with Harry Winks on tour in Belgium. Sorry, Harry Winks, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you Stinky Winks. So when I think skill Pickles. Right, I need to keep my cool here. We've got 20 minutes till deadline. Would I do Evanilson to Isak and Kluivert to Stinky Wings? No, I wouldn't. I would go for a long nap, Corey, but thank you very much for the super chat. Should I keep and play Trippier or transfer to Livramento? I'd keep and play Trippier. Oh, that's killed me off. I need to have a little sip. Ooh. What do you mean your friend at Spurs? I played for Spurs for 8 years. Harry Winks was in the age group above, but we went on tour a few times together, basically. So yeah, he wasn't in my age group. He was 1 year above me. I think 1 year. So we went on tour a couple of times, basically. Anyway, where was I? Thank you so much, Ross. Any critique for Wildcard? Raya, Martinez, Livramento, Gvardiol, Wan-Bissaka, Konate, Munoz, Saka, Savinho, Eze, Salah, Marino, Mateta, Marmoush, Isak. Great, Greg. No massive critique there. Can I critique anything? No. It's great. Especially if you're on bench boost 33, it's even better. Any differentials you'd suggest on Wildcard? I think Savinho is still slightly differential, or Marino. I think Marino or Savinho could be nice. You could go for Rashford if you wanted to be super cheeky with the punt, but it is a punt. Guess Watkins could be if you fancy his minutes to be good. Best assistant manager this week. If you've got 3 Newcastle, go for Potter or Frank and then Glasner. But if you've got 3 Palace and 3 Newcastle, I'd sell one of your Newcastle and go how Arteta. That's my favourite. Right, we've got just under 20 minutes till the deadline. What are you laughing at Stinky Wings still?
If you ever watched that clip.
What's that?
If you ever somehow found that clip.
Yeah, no.
Like, damn, Ross is rude.
Joaquim says, good morning, Ross. Wildcard now and plan to bench boost 32, triple captain 33. Eze, Mateta and Alanga, or Eze, Sarr and João Pedro? Ooh. I quite like Eze, Sarr, João Pedro. Ooh, that's really tough. I do think I would go for the Alanga combination because I think Alanga will serve you well later in the season more than João Pedro. So I would go for Eze, Mateta, Alanga because I like Forest fixtures in the back end of the season. But in terms of 32 specifically, the João Pedro combo could be slightly better. Harshill says Crystal Palace do not have good for both the double game week. Why going for double up on them? Any thoughts? Because they've got 2 fixtures and they've got a double-double. Crystal Palace are the only team in the league to have 4 fixtures in 2 game weeks. So just through appearance points alone, you're gaining a little bit. And Crystal Palace is still a good team. That would be why, Harshill. Ripvic says, have Virgil, Gvardiol and Rodgers on the bench. Okay. Should I replace someone from Mateta, Sarr, Munoz, Murphy or Livramento? No, probably not. I mean, you could justify maybe starting Gvardiol instead of Munoz, but I would keep it as you've got it, personally. How can I improve my wildcard? Henderson, Areola, Munoz, Burn, Konsa, Saliba, Gvardiol, Murphy, Salah? Is that meant to be Saka, one of them? Saka, let's go. Rashford, Rodgers, Isak, Marmoush, Mateta. Thanks, mate. You are more than welcome. The only concern I would have is double Aston Villa mid seems a little bit suspect. Like for me, you've gone double Crystal Palace defense and double Aston Villa midfield. I would change one of the Crystal Palace defenders for an Aston Villa one, and I would change one of the Aston Villa mids for a Crystal Palace one. So I would just, rather than double Palace defense, double Aston Villa midfield, Adam, I would go for one Palace defender, one Aston Villa defender, and then one Palace midfielder, one Aston Villa midfielder. Hopefully that makes sense in terms of what I would do. Nikolai says, chip strategy help. Bench boost, triple captain, wildcard. Team is Sanchez, James, Munoz, Livramento, Salah, Palmer, Minter, Rodgers, Mateta, Marmoush, Isak, and then Verbruggen, Sarr, Lewis, Aina. I think you probably need to wildcard now. Wildcard now, bench boost 32. The reason I would bench boost 32 is you can load up on 3 Newcastle and keep them. You can load up on 3 Nottingham Forest and keep them, both of which will serve you well in Game Week 34 when you won't have to free hit. But you have to then sacrifice Game Week 33 slightly. So what I would do, if it was my team, just at a quick glance, Nikolai, because I can't spend much longer on it, is I would wildcard this week, I would bench boost 32, and I would triple captain 33, is what I would do with that team. Start Sarr or Bowen. Bournemouth been a bit stinky. Yeah, Bowen. Thoughts on wildcard this week with triple captain 32. Raya, Munoz, Saliba, Livramento, Saka, Palmer, Murphy, Salah, Marmoush, Evanilson, Isak, bench of Areola, Sarr, Ruben Dias, Luka Dean. Wouldn't go Luka Dean, wouldn't go Ruben Dias. Luka Dean might not start, given that the PSG games are either side. Ruben Dias, not great for a bench boost 32 specifically, I wouldn't say. Oh, triple captain 32. My bad. I completely misread it. Ignore what I just said. Nice team. Sorry, I thought you were bench boosting 32. I was like, that makes no sense. With triple captain 32, yeah. I like it. Just bear in mind, obviously, if Isak does re-aggravate his injury or is injured, then triple captain 32 is off the cards. Start Housen or... Start Housen or Gvardiol. Gvardiol. Frank and 2 Glasner assistant manager. Love it, Russell. Good luck. I'm very jealous of those that have the assistant manager. Although, we kind of nailed it with Murphy. With Murphy? That's not his name. Glasner. Bench Raya or Martinez and Sarr or Murphy. I would start Raya and I would start Murphy. Rian says, Boss Ross, on wildcard, Raya, Edison, Timber, Munoz. Wait, is that Henderson or Edison? You've put Henderson, and I don't know if that's Henderson without the H or Edison with an additional N. Okay, one of them 2. Timber, Munoz, Gvardiol, Konsa, Trippier, Saka, Sarr, Rashford, Salah, Gordon, Mateta, Marmoush, Isak. Really nice wild card. I don't know that I would risk Gordon personally. Would I risk Timber? Timber's slightly less of a risk. If you can afford Saliba, I'd go Saliba. I don't know, yeah, maybe Gordon and Timber's a bit of a risk. And Trippier. Yeah, maybe you've got too many risks there. Like, because if you get worst case scenario and all 3 of them are injury issues, on a wild card, that feels a bit rough. But other than that, it is a nice team. And I think you can take a risk with, let's say, 2 of them. We've got just over 10 minutes till the deadline. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'm making a real push. I'm going to be very annoying and say, please do subscribe. We're really trying to hit 150,000 by the end of the season. And if I get Saka news, let me check my DMs actually. If I get Saka news in the next 12 minutes, I should say, I'll let you know. And I haven't got a DM yet. That's sad. I really hope he starts. I mean, it's a terrible start to the game week if he's benched again. Such a shame. We just have to get a goal off the bench. Start Alanga or Rodgers? I would start Rodgers. I'm having a crazy conundrum. Pick between Rashi, Savinho, Foden, Rodgers. Looking at it, bench boost 33, but maximise points in the meantime. Savinho. Bench 1 of Kirkes, Gvardiol, Tino, Munoz. Cheers, Ross. You're more than welcome. Bench 1, Kirkes. Got 2 free transfers in my team. Munoz, 8 Nuri, Milenkovic. Vandenberg, Salah, Fernandez, Palmer, Semenyo, Isaac, Bruno. Fernandez, Wisser, Wood, Pickford, and Fabianski. Thinking can do Vandenberg to Share and Kluivert to Barnes. Thoughts? I wouldn't bother with Fabian Share. I'd just go for Livramento. Fabian Share's not worth the money. And I wouldn't go for Barnes. I'd go for Murphy. And then you save a lot of money. So Vandenberg to Livramento, Kluivert to Murphy, Rohan would be what I would do. If you've got a really good feeling about Fabian Share and Barnes, go for it. I just think Livramento and Murphy are better. Got some benching headaches. Start Watkins or Savinho. 80k. What's ATK mean? At the keyboard? ATK. And in defense, Gvardiol... Oh, attack. Sorry. Start Watkins or Savinho in attack, and in defense, Gvardiol, Burn. I would start Savinho ahead of Watkins, and I would start Burn ahead of Gvardiol. Start one of Saka, Marino, Sarr, and Mateta. Start one. Start one. Saka, probably. Unless we get news in the next 10 minutes that he's on the bench. Start Livramento or Saliba, Raya in goal. Saliba. Livramento. I'd go Livramento. Yeah, I would. Hi, Ross. 2 questions. Best Gabriel replacement, bench boost 32. Forest defender. Start Eze or João Pedro. Eze. Yeah, Forest defender and Eze is my answer to that, mate. Fam. Mario says, does your girlfriend play FPL? Yes, you don't know the pickle. Who doesn't know the pickle by now? Yeah, my girlfriend is FPL Pickle on Twitter. She's got 10,000 followers. Check her out. Who does she like for captain? She likes probably Isaac, which is really against what she normally does, and she'll probably cry when Salah pops off. Pickle would normally captain the most highly owned and obvious captain, which would be probably Salah here, but we're going to risk it for a biscuit, both of us, and go with Isaac. Yeah, I would say Salah will be 170 and Isaac will be 110, would be my prediction. So you're going to lose about 70% of Salah's points.
Will be closer than that?
No.
Really?
Isaac might be higher, but Salah won't be below 170. Kivior or Milenkovic. This week, Kivior will start, I think, so Kivior. And Verbruggen or Dunk. Oh, is this on Wildcard? If it's on Wildcard, I prefer Milenkovic over Kivior. If it's to start Kivior, Verbruggen or Dunk and Pope. I think Pope. I think I'd take a risk on Pope. If you've not filled out the Newcastle spots elsewhere. Bench boost 32. I don't think you can go wrong horribly. I would have one Brighton defender, though, definitely. And I would probably have Milenkovic just to be safe. Taylor says, start Burn, Livramento, Saliba, Gvardiol, Munoz. I would start Livramento, Saliba, and one of Munoz or Gvardiol, and I'd bench Burn. I'd start one of your Newcastle defenders, definitely, though. Benjamin says, hi, Ross, me again. I swapped Gabriel for Timber, Aina for Robertson, Barco for Milenkovic, finally, and Kluivert to Murphy. Thoughts? Love it, mate. Yeah, really nice transfers. I mean, assuming that Robertson starts, I guess he will. Timber, I hope he starts. I guess he will. Milenkovic is nice, and Kluivert to Murphy I like a lot. Yeah, very nice, Benjamin. Very, very nice. Just on the super chats, guys, I've only got 7.5 minutes, and I'm a few behind, so please don't super chat anymore if you don't want to run the risk of not getting it answered. I've just got that in now, but thank you very much to everyone that is. But if you want to get your questions answered, I wouldn't risk it, because I'm trying to shoot between the normal chat as well to make sure I don't miss anything, you know? 15-week green arrow, Foden captain, risk it all. I mean, go for it. I wouldn't in a million. I don't even know if it'll start, but maybe. Alexander says, wildcard active, Saliba and Enzo or Konate and Sarr? Konate and Sarr. Back for the 3rd time today. Russ, hello, Pratik. On your wildcard draft 1, why Marino over Raya, Henderson over Munoz? It's just a little bit cheaper, and I like the idea of being a little bit differential with double Arsenal attack. Yeah, and by all means, keep Sarr. It was just to differentiate slightly, basically, mate. Emerson says, I already have 3 Newcastle players, but want Howe as manager. Should I remove Livramento or Murphy to get him? Otherwise, what manager? Not really chasing points. If you really want Howe, just remove Livramento. I think keep Murphy. He's a really nice cheap midfielder. There are loads of other defenders you can have. The other option you've got is Potter or Frank, and then move to Glasner, but that is very risky because it's all table bonus and they could lose all of them. I would probably make the move and just do How Arteta. Bench Bowen or Marmoush? I'm benching Marmoush at the moment. Don't bench Marmoush. Bench Bowen. Marmoush probably on penalties against a terrible Man United team. Start Saliba or Gvardiol. I'd go Saliba. Bench Saliba or Munoz. I'd start Saliba, bench Munoz. Omar says, best Ross. On wildcard, Livramento, Gvardiol, Munoz, Konsa. Who for the 5th spot? Depends on your bench. I don't know what your bench boost strategy is, or if you even have a bench boost. It's probably an Arsenal defender. Who for the 5th midfield? Oh, sorry. Midfield is Salah, Murphy, Saka, Sarr. Who for the 5th midfield spot? Mourinho, Savino, or Rodgers? Hey, Ross and Pickle. Just want to show my support. Good luck. Thank you, Bar Sam. I appreciate that. Agnibar says, benching dilemma. Who to bench out of Eze, Savino, Saka, Mateta, and Marmoush in order to play Murphy? I think if you're going to bench one of those, it has to be Eze, I would say. Start Bruno or Sarr. I'd start Ismaila Sarr there. Aladdin says, rate my wildcard with free hit 34. Raya, Martinez, Saliba, Gvardiol, Livramento, Munoz, Wan-Bissaka, Eze, Saka, Murphy, Salah, Savino, Mateta, Isaac, Marmoush. Like a 9.5 out of 10. I assume you're on bench boost 33, given you've got like Wan-Bissaka in there. It's a really nice team, mate. Love Savino. Love the midfield. Great. Maybe a 9.8 out of 10. Fenix says, hi Ross, I'm not sure, does the assistant manager for Palace count for the non-Game Week 34? I'm thinking of using it for Game Week 32 or any recommendations, much love. You're going to use the assistant manager in 32, so you would need to then change it in 34 because Glasner doesn't have a fixture. So you'd use it for Glasner in 32, 33, and in 34 you'd move to someone like Marco Silva against Southampton or something like that. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, you wouldn't have a fixture, so you'd need to make a transfer. Your other option you've got, I suppose, you could go for Eddie Howe and just keep it on him for 3 weeks because they've got Ipswich in 34, sorry. Why Foden over Sarr? Just risking it for a biscuit. FPL Haley, good to see you, my sister. And that wasn't like my sister. That's actually my sister. Who to start, Rodgers or Savino? Haley, I always give you terrible advice. I'd start Savino. But I always give you really bad advice. Ross says, Sarr and Munoz on the bench. Who would you make first sub? Sarr for me, Ross.
A lot of Rosses today.
Yeah, there are a lot of Rosses. Harry's benching Saka. Does he have news?
Oh.
Is there news that I know? I would hope he's not got news and not shared it.
Oh God, I didn't realise I posted.
Sarr or Bowen? I would go Bowen just. Oh, Craig Hope tweeted 57 minutes ago. For all those in my DM and asking in the comments, yes, I think Isak will be fine.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you want a captain, that's better. So Craig Hope, I can't be able to bring it up on the computer. Craig Hope, who's really good for Newcastle team news, said that he thinks Isak will be okay. Oh, I really was hoping we'd get Saka news. They are tight-lipped, Arsenal, aren't they? No, we've got nothing on Timber. Nothing on Saka. Arsenal stuff is... Oh, Saka's benched again. I'm going to be gutted. And Foden. I'm going to get double benchings 2 weeks in a row from the pair of them. Frank as assistant manager. I like it. Chris in the chat. Chris, you come in with 2 minutes in the chat and said dog farts. Well done, Chris. You almost missed it. If you're wondering who Chris is, Chris always comments dog farts in the live streams, and I miss him if he doesn't. Oh. Just over 2 minutes till the deadline. If you are not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. Saka and Timber are with the squad. That's good to know. That's good to know. Harry just said he has no Arsenal team news on his stream. Okay. I love that last week Harry and I's teams were the same. This week he's captaining Salah and he's benching Saka. So we all know Saka's going to blank and Salah's going to score 12. Oh, and he sold Dan Burn. We've got very different teams now. I don't know if I've taken a screenshot of my team. Let me take a screenshot of my team quick. Oh, Every, go away. I've just accidentally clicked on an email from Esri. Esri Konsa. I meant Every.
Oh, no, is that a sign?
Well,
Is he starting Konza as well?
probably.
Oh,
No, I think he brought in Milenkovic instead, actually.
um,
Palmer cap. I do not mind Palmer captain. I think all of Isak, Marmoush, Salah, and Palmer are all great captaincy options. They're my 4 top captaincy options. Do we have any Arsenal leaks? Sadly not. I really thought we would get something, but nothing on Timber and Saka other than both have travelled with the squad. I would personally start Savinho over Sarr, for everyone asking, but I think it's genuinely 50-50. Trust your gut feeling. What would you feel more comfortable with in your team? Who would you feel better at looking on the bench? I would start Savinho, but I think it's very, very close. I think Sarr is more highly owned than Savinho, so if you want to play safe, maybe start Savinho. Sorry, start Sarr. If you want to be a bit more risky, start Savinho. You got just under a minute till the deadline. Just under a minute till the deadline. I would be comfortable starting Timber, yeah. Because I would hope that he comes back into the 11, but I don't know that. Gvardiol or Milenkovic? Probably Gvardiol. You've got under 30 seconds until the deadline. Get your teams locked in. I swear if we get bloody Saka news now, like we did last week, a minute before the deadline. Rodgers or Sarr? I would just lean Sarr, but again, that's very close. Who to start, Burn or Munoz? I would start Burn. 10 seconds till the deadline. Get your teams locked in and subscribe to the YouTube channel. God damn it. Any Saka news? Nothing, sadly. That is it. Bow. Deadline done. Just did Saka to Palmer last second. Yeah, maybe play safe. Maybe play safe. We move. That we do. That we do. That we do, my friends. Don't leave. I'm going to carry on streaming. Don't leave. I'll carry on streaming for the next half an hour or so. And also, if you're not subscribed, did I mention that you should subscribe? Right, let me tweet my team. Dashmate sent me their team, said, new wildcard team. Okay, Areola, Saliba, Burn, Kivior, Rashford, Barnes, Salah, Saka, Mateta, Isak, Solanke, captain, Munoz, Sarr. I mean, is it good? Yeah, but it's very differential. Solanke, captain in there. You got Rashford and Barnes. I can always count on you to be a bit spicy, Dashmate. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Sorry, guys. Just tweeting my team out, and then I'll be back. I need to post it on Blue Sky as well. Yeah, I do think Saka starts, but I've been wrong before. I got Foden and Saka wrong last week, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong again. But yeah, it does seem about right, doesn't it? You would hope. But I don't think he'll get more than 60 to 70 minutes maximum. First game week of club this week for me, fingers crossed. Oh yeah, I need to sort out my club team actually. I'll show you it in a second. Let me just post this on Blue Sky and then I'll be done.
Can I just say, if you keep hearing me sniffle and sneeze, I've got horrible hay fever. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're struggling, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's weird because I live in the city centre. We're not even in the middle of nature. Yes. Have you taken an antihistamine?
Yeah, I'm about to. I held it off a bit too long, to be honest.
It's because Ross is a great name. Ross is a great name, Ross. I agree. Now for the important stuff. What are you doing for the weekend? I need to go a little bit shopping. I've got FPL Harry's wedding coming up soon. And I've also got one of my friends' weddings. So I need to get... I actually need a suit... Whistled. I need a suit bag. I've gone to a few weddings before on different events, but I would normally wear my suit there. But because I'm traveling for both, I need a suit bag. I need a new pair of shoes. Actually, what did that say? My tie might be arriving today. I ordered a tie, and I also needed one more tie. Yeah, between 10:30 and 12:30 today. My tie could arrive now. So we'll try and listen out. I'll put my phone on loud, actually, just in case. Need to do a bit of shopping. Going to go to the gym. Watch the Japanese Grand Prix tomorrow as well. Also.
What are we doing next today? What are we doing?
FPL Harry is your friend too. Yeah, no, I sent FPL Harry and then a friend that isn't related to FPL. What are we doing tomorrow? Legs? Yeah, leg day. Oh, my knee hurts though. Harry is punching so hard it could be considered domestic abuse. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I think Harry's a good looking lad.
it's not very.
Not saying Holly isn't. I'm just saying I think Harry's a good looking lad. I wouldn't say he's punching. And it's FPL Harry, you know? Got that clout. Yeah, I will be watching F1 tomorrow. I woke up today for Q3, or the end of Q2 and the beginning of Q3. So I'll watch the end of qualifying. You're Nottingham based, right? Do you ever go watch the Panthers play? I don't watch anything outside of football, sadly. Are you betting on the Grand National? I don't gamble. I'm not massively against it, I'll be honest. Like, I'm against promoting it on my channel, but I'm absolutely not against gambling from a personal perspective, but I don't do it. How did you come up with your name, FPL Raptor? Yeah, I've said this a couple of times. So basically, during lockdown, I was watching a lot of NBA. Started with that's annoying. It's car alarm. It started with The Last Dance, got me into basketball a little bit, as it did for a few people. I was just so just fascinated by it because I'd never really watched a lot of basketball. Decided that Toronto Raptors would be my team. That was around the time I created my FPL Twitter account, and so I went for FPL Raptor.
Oh gosh, it's all popping off.
I know that alarm's really annoying. Hopefully it's not picked up. Oh, there it goes. Gone. What's your favourite boozer in Nottingham, Ross? I don't really massively drink, mate. So I don't really go out like that very often. Yeah, Max Verstappen's I don't outwardly normally shout, but when he put in pole, I woke up Pickle. I was like, oh my God. It's just like, because Norris was first by like 5/1000ths and then, or 5/100ths, and then Piastri was second, I think. And it just looked for like a 1-2. And then I saw Max was like less than a 10th off in Sector 1. And we know that in Sector 3, Max is a monster. And I was like, if he puts in a good Sector 3, and he did, fair play. Who's winning the championship, do you think? Max, probably. Max or... Oh, I don't want to discount Piastri. Do you know what worries me about Piastri is he went through that really terrible run about 3/4 of the way through the season last year. So, yeah. Have to go. Dad's taxi time again. Great stream, mate, and thanks for the mod status. Really appreciate it. You're welcome, Shazam. Thank you for being here always. No gambling, no drinking, also helping little old ladies across the street. I know, it sounds like I'm trying to be like a saint or something. Sounds like I'm trying to be a saint. No, I just don't gamble and I don't drink. Well, I do drink, but I don't... I drink probably like...
Rarely.
4 times a year? 5 times a year? Only if there's an event. Like, I never would drink other than that. And obviously, Pickle's teetotal, so we've spoken about. So I don't... Like, if Pickle and I go out, unless I really want to, I probably won't have much to drink.
He's always welcome to, but he doesn't opt to.
I just don't like the way it makes me feel after. Like, I like feeling a bit drunk, but I don't... it's not worth the feeling of having a headache, and I don't even get massive hangovers either. Have you visited the Middle East? No, but I've been looking at holidays actually for next October. I think Pickle and I are going to go away, so we've been looking at places there. Anyone have any recommendations? Holidays in October. We were looking at nice weather and stuff, and we were looking at like Cape Verde and the Canary Islands have nice weather in, and Cyprus has nice weather in October. We want somewhere that's hot in October. Doesn't have to be boiling, but we also don't want to travel too far. Let's say like maybe like 6 to 8 hours. I think anything more than 8 hours is a bit much. But yeah, Cyprus was on the list. Cape Verde, Canary Islands. Morocco? Yeah, I've heard Morocco, actually. I've been to Egypt, but I've not been to Morocco.
I've been to Morocco, but I was quite young. It was nice.
Yeah, I've been to Egypt, but not Morocco, so that's a possibility. Tunisia? Yeah. Tunisia was on the list. Croatia? Yes, not too warm, but also not cold. I'd like to do a bit of sunbathing. I'm glow in the dark pale at the moment, so I'd quite like to get a bit of a tan as well as anything. Yeah, Lanzarotte's on there for sure. I've been to Tenerife like 9 times, but I've not been to Lanzarote or Gran Canaria. Oktoberfest. Yeah, not for me. I don't like beer, even when I do drink, sadly. Yeah, lots of good options. I'd ideally like to go somewhere where there isn't a massive risk of rain as well, because you've got quite a few places that would be hot, but they've got massive amounts of rain in that time. Was about to suggest Australia, but yeah, more than 8 hours. Yeah, it's a long, long way, isn't it? I think we'd be going for 9 or 10 days. I think if I was going to Australia, I'd want to do 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Just because it's a long way to go for only a week or 8, 9, 10 days. Montenegro is a sick country. I'll look into it. Thank you. Mombasa, Kenya is the place to be. Is that where you're from, Victor? Are you a little bit biased, or is it actually? I'll take your word for it. I've been to Sorrento, Sim. We went to Sorrento... Is it June? Went to Sorrento in June. It was lovely. Yeah, Sorrento was beautiful. I'd like to go back for longer because we were only there for 4 days. Thailand is good in October. Isn't Thailand really rainy in October, though? Or am I getting that wrong? Am I getting my seasons mixed up? Turkey is nice and cheap. Yeah, Turkey's an option. Any leaks, Papa Raptor? No, but I feel like Saka's going to be benched. I'm really worried. Let me see if I can track this parcel. How accurate at every? Do they tell me like how many stops away it is? It just says 10:30 to 12:30. One sec, I'm just checking a parcel chat, sorry. It would be... If I got my number on here, are they going to call me? I hope they've got my number. Yeah. Because sometimes they're just like, yeah, you weren't in. And it's like, you didn't even... Oh. Got loads of, like, fluff on me. Loads of fluff on me. It was a cordlets. That email. Malta, yes, Nemanja. Malta. Malta was on there. Sorry, is it Nemanja or Nemanja? Ya or Ja? Y or J? I don't want to keep butchering your name. Nemanja Vidit. I think I would say like Nemanja, but I'm probably ruining that. Is the J hard or not? Is Ross frozen or just deep in thought? I was just deep in thought. Sorry, I was trying to work something out. It is a Y. Okay, good. Nemanja. Next question. Are you Serbian? Or is Nemanja common in other countries in Europe? I love the name Nemanja. I think because I just associate it with my favourite footballers. Heard Scarborough is my best at the time of year. I used to know someone from Scarborough. I don't know, there's a terrible Scarborough accent. Scarborough. Yes, I am. Fantastic. I've never met a Serbian that I don't like. And Nemanja, you seem very sweet as well. Ross, serious question. Do you actually like pickles? I actually genuinely love pickles. Yeah. That was where it all came from. So Pickle never used to be called Pickle in the stream. It was her actual name. And over time, she wanted to create a more FPL persona. And we spoke about pickles on like 2 or 3 of the live streams. So she changed her name to FPL Pickle. That's where it came from.
I remember I surprised you.
That was so funny. I just saw it come up in the chat like FPL Pickle. How can a man not like the taste of beer? I just think it's gross. I'll be real. I don't mind Guinness. I don't like beer. I'm sorry. Also, beer makes me very bloated. Like really bloated. Like my belly literally comes out like I get really distended from it. I'm sorry. We've got the Arsenal team news in 3 minutes, right? How has no one leaked? Or have I missed it? Are you even a Brit? I hate that that's associated with being British.
Oh no, it's irritating.
Is that you're just expected to like beer. But yeah, I am British and I don't like beer. Any countries you would recommend going to? Italy's my favourite country in the world. I've been to pretty much everywhere in Italy. Love it. Other countries I'd recommend? I went to Finland.
Iceland. Wow.
Oh, Saka's not starting. Oh, Saka starts. Oh, why did 3 people in the chat all at the same time say Saka not starting? That broke my heart. We'll find out in 2 minutes. Did someone ask you what your rank was?
Yep.
Okay.
Like more than one person.
I think you're just flexing. I was like, that's just rude at this stage.
More than one person asked, so put it in there.
Shall I jinx everything and say that my stream has run perfectly today for the first time this season? I have dropped 0.3% of my stream in frames. That's it.
I'm glad that it's been okay.
Chat, how good has the stream worked? And I'm going to jinx it now, but I'm just going to do it. How good has the stream worked? Sterling starts, apparently. Oh, no. Oh, Sterling. Oh, Saka's not starting, is he? Oh, I should have just gone Palmer. Oh, well. At least I got the points last week. He could score off the bench again. That would be very lucky if he did. Oh, what are you doing, Saka? You never know. Sterling might be starting on the left. It could be Martinelli that's benched. Do you know what? I'm not looking at the chat anymore. I'm just going to wait for the official team news. Oh, big stretch. Be very sad. Come on, Bakayo. To be fair, if he doesn't start again, I would have just called his minutes so wrong. I need Foden to start. I can't have Foden and Saka both not starting again. Praz bench Foden. Foden will be benched then.
Harry started Foden though. So
Oh, did he?
no choice, really. Oh yeah, he started Milinkovic by the way.
Oh, Saka's on the bench again.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
Oh my god, they've rotated so heavily.
Oh wait, what?
Saka, Erdegaard, and Martinelli and Timber all benched. Oh, Saka. You...
Odegaard and Martinelli on the bench.
Is this the point when I tell Harry that he's the cartel and he didn't tell anyone?
Yeah, Harry's the cartel.
Not great.
I'm sorry.
So Harry either had team news or he's the luckiest man alive. One of the above. Oh well. What do we think? Which is more likely?
Or he saw that Saka was benched last week and was like, there's a decent chance it could happen again.
30 minutes, Real Madrid midweek. 30-60 Real Madrid is the logical path, I think. To be fair, 25 minutes versus 60 minutes. It will score 3 either way. It was obvious. No, it wasn't obvious, though.
It wasn't obvious.
This is so hindsight. I hate hindsight. It wasn't obvious at all.
I think it was obvious. No one would have put Saka in that wildcard.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did.
For God's sake.
Is Marino still starting?
He has Salah cap too. Yeah, I know.
I'm getting Marino in 33.
Is he starting?
Yeah.
And to be fair, I just saw no Saka. No Martinelli and no Erdegaard, though, shows they're going heavy rotation for Real Madrid, which worries me about Saka starting in 32 now.
Although, where's Marino starting?
Yeah, he might not start again.
Well, he's in the midfield. Anyway. Because Trossard and Sterling 1 year.
Oh, yeah, Marino's playing midfield.
Yeah. That's not ideal.
Wait. Did James from Planet FPL call that perfectly?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Oscar's just asked Harry, did you get a leak on Saka? Yeah, ask him, because I'd like to know, Harry. You... Oh, no, he didn't. Okay. Where's Party's on the bench. Oh, my God, they have heavily rotated. That's a stinky team. They'll probably win still. Yeah, Marino's playing a much deeper role there. This is the concern, isn't it, with other players available. Wow, they've rotated heavy. That tells me that they don't even think they can win the league. Going all in on the Champions League.
Yeah, maybe I do just get Saliba.
Saka surely gets a half at least. That would be nice, actually. Yeah, he becomes on at half time. Maybe it's 45. Maybe it's like 25, 45.
I think with that team that they've got, there's a decent chance.
We'll see. It's only one player. It's not the end of the... FPL Harry stormed off after the cartel comments. I just said to him, lucky bastard, in the chat. And he's just opened it and hasn't responded. Oh, he's responding. I'll let you know what he responds. He just replied, yup. Doesn't even try and fight anymore.
Yeah, he surrenders.
So he started Saar, captain Salah, and sold Dan Burn. So Saka 1 pointer, Dan Burn gets sent off, Salah hauls, Saar hauls. I can't wait to see how Harry's team that is based it the same as mine outscores me by 50 points. Why is Gabriel not in the team sheet? He's out for the season, Gideon. We found that out a few days ago.
Got injured.
Yeah. God, I'm hungry, you know. You hungry? I know it's early, but what's for lunch today? Pickle keeps talking about chicken selects, so we'll see.
Oh my god.
No, well, you need to just calm it with the discussion on chicken selects. You know. Harry didn't sell Burn. Wait, what?
He did.
I thought he went for...
He's got Milinkovic.
Didn't he go for Howe, assistant manager? Or did he sell Munoz and go for Glasner? I don't know.
No, he's got Howe. Pretty sure. He's got Konza and Milinkovic.
Yeah, he did sell Burn. Harry sold Burn. He sold Burn to activate assistant manager on Howe. Yeah, and he started Milenkovic against Aston Villa away. So somehow they'll keep a clean sheet against Villa away. Frosty said, I went Barnes. God help me. Let's hope Gordon doesn't start on the left. Harry bench Saka. I know. I should have done the same. Should have just copied Harry. Shaunak said, thank you as always for the help, Ross. Also, if you're okay with it, I can give an offer to all the regular watchers of Post Deadline to my app. Absolutely, as long as you tell me. I don't want to say yeah, and it's like a dodgy gambling app or something. Oh, my computer's just died. This might be a sign that it's time. It got... Oh, it's died. Oh, no, it's back. Victor says, our standard year, go to Dubai in October. I did see Dubai looks really nice in terms of weather in October. Summer Greece, October Dubai, and winter Thailand. I like the sound of that. Trust me, the way I trust you. I can't believe I even went Savini over Saar. Watch out because I'm around. Good luck, mate. And thank you for the advice. That sounds beautiful. Maybe 1 year I'll do all of those. FPL content gets in the way a bit. I jinxed it. What did I jinx? Can't remember. Please, Saka.
Constant pain for my baby.
Yeah, Saka, Erdegaard, Timber, Partey, Martinelli all benched. That is 5 of their starting players. They've gone for full rotation. Oh, I jinxed my stream. Oh, okay, yeah. I see. Right then, chat. Well, we've got the team news. It's not what I wanted. Want to cry. Gabriel's out for the season. Saka's on the bench. I went from having 3 Arsenal this week to now 1, which is Raya, who will make 2 saves and concede. But that's okay. I'm cooked. I thought the deadline was 11 a.m. GMT. Yeah, the clock's changed in England. Watched Foden get benched now. He probably will. If I get double benchings from Saka and Foden, I'm washed. That is terrible decision making. FPL Harry says Burn is out. No, he sold Burn. Burn's not out. He just sold Burn.
Imagine Burns like somehow like not in the squad now.
He'd have to quit. He couldn't get back from those allegations. Just watch the end of that Harry's stream. Was so funny. I'll have to watch it at some point. Right, guys, seeing as my computer's having a bit of a fit and I'm very hungry, I will love you and leave you there. Thank you for joining as always. Really enjoyed that stream. It was a good one. You can see how much more I enjoy the stream when my technology actually functions, which was good. Yeah, Saka being benched isn't ideal, but we'll deal with it. FPL is not the end of the world anyway, is it really? And I say that as a content creator. If I finish 33k or 48k, doesn't really bother me too much. But we'll still try until the end, and hopefully Saka can do something off the bench. Until next time, which will be early thoughts, transfer plans tomorrow. So I'll see you for tomorrow's video. I love you all very much. Thanks for all of the support with the super chats and the subscribing and the liking and the lovely comments. I appreciate you so much, and I'll catch you soon. Bye, guys.